What up, people? We are live.
Yo, what's good? What's good? It's your boy Rich. Got the Chief Dundada Paul with me. This is a popped up, sitting low edition of Real Talk with Rich. We just decided we wanted to do a show tonight because we're not going to be here this weekend. We're going to be hanging out with the family. So, first thing I want to do is I want to wish everyone a happy Thanksgiving, happy Thanksgiving, happy Thanks jerking, happy Thanks whatever you gonna do this weekend. Some of y'all gonna eat turkey, some of y'all not. Either way, we want you guys to be safe. Want you guys to have a good time with your folks, and that's what's up. So you see, I got the rocking the Houston Oilers 34 Earl Campbell throwback because tomorrow it is it's a holiday, baby. It's football. That's what's going on.
Football.
Other than turkey, ain't nothing like some good football. So we're looking forward to that. So how you doing, Paul?
I'm cooling the fam, man. I'm about to have a day off tomorrow. Don't have to worry about nothing but hanging out with the family. I, you know, John Jennings, our fellow Black comic lord, said something to me recently that I thought was profound. He did not refer to it as Thanksgiving Day. He referred to it as Family Day. Because
Yes.
that's how I think of it. I mean, you think about all the historical stuff with Thanksgiving and its origins. It's kind of messed up, which many holidays are.
Yeah, it
But
is.
me, a lot of people have their favorite holidays. Some people like Christmas. Some people like Halloween. My favorite holiday is Thanksgiving. Why? Because it's all about family, fun, food, and football. All those F's,
Yes,
right?
sir.
And there's no commercialized presence involved where you're overspending and having to take out a loan to buy presents for the entire family. And people are just there to say thank you. Be thankful to God for all that they have. Be thankful for the families they have, the lives they have, the jobs they have, the roofs over their heads, the fellowship that they can have with each other. And it's just about having a good time and appreciating everyone who's around in your life. That's my favorite holiday. Not to mention there's
Yeah, lots of food.
lots of food.
So, so you guys doing the traditional, or y'all doing the Jamaican with some oxtails, my brother?
That's a trick question, brother, because traditional for us is Jamaican with oxtail and curry goat and jerk chicken and rice and peas and all them nice things, them man.
That's what's up. That's what I'm talking about. We not doing the traditional. We having barbecue. So we're gonna worry about some turkey probably for Christmas or whatever. We're gonna have family down, and it's gonna be a house full of people. So we're gonna do all of that special stuff then. But anyway, man, happy Family Day, happy Thanksgiving, whatever you want to call it. Just guys, be safe, man. If you're gonna go out there, if you're gonna partake of the sauce, please get a designated driver. Do not drive drunk. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying that. I'm just saying. I'm handing out free advice, free unsolicited advice. Don't be if you're gonna be in the back of a cop car, be back there voluntarily, not involuntarily.
And if you find yourself in that position, you live in the state of Florida, call attorney Paul White Davis at 407-900-4996.
That's what's up. We want to shout everybody out. I want to shout out to Chad. Shout out to my man Rico. Happy Family Day, sir. Frustrated Fan Sports Show. What's going on? Louisiana Kid '08. What up? What up? What up? We want to just thank you guys for joining us tonight. Like I said, we decided to do a show. We don't really have a we don't have a structured show. We just want to kind of hang out and talk comics and that kind of thing. And we do have one book in mind, so um, we might as well go and get that out the way.
Oh, hold on a sec. Let me find the book. Let me find the book.
Okay. Yeah.
Crap. What was it called again? It's always when you're looking for stuff you can't find it. It's always the case, man. What's the name of the book? Blade what?
Blade Vampire Nation.
Vampire. Oh, I found it. All right.
Yeah.
Vampire Nation.
Well, I tell you.
Now, what'd you think of this book?
It was
It's appropriate that we have Rico in the building as you talk
going
about his
on.
book.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Here's the thing. There's no action in this book. There's no action in this book at all. How do you put Blade in a book with no action? His own book,
Well,
okay? But there's no action in this book.
it's
Blade
it's
is huh?
it's a
Bruh.
different book. It's a different book.
Yeah, it's like what you remember not Dragnet. I'm trying to think of a detective show. Blade's being a detective in this book.
Yeah.
he, he's like, Scolder and Mully from X-Files. I don't know. I just know he didn't well, he did pipe two vampires, but you don't even see
Yeah, that's true.
it. So, but shout out to Blade Vampire, written by Mark Russell, and the artist is Dave Wachter. Um, I will say this: that the book itself, it's okay. I don't want to just trash the book, but if you're looking for Blade action, this is not it. I mean, I'm just being honest. This is not it. How he says, I haven't read it yet. This is what I'm going to read it this weekend. Okay, well, Rico, I don't want to spoil it for you, bro, but yeah, yeah, I'm gonna let you just, you know, I don't want to spoil it since my man hadn't read it, but I will just say that it's not a typical Blade book. I'll say it like that. Hopefully they'll keep it going. I don't know if this is going to be an ongoing book or not. It looks like it's going to be ongoing. It's not designated as a one shot.
No, I don't.
So we'll see.
I think it's a one shot, man. Because at the end of the book, it says, "For more of
The-
Blade, go to Avengers, All Out Avengers 2 or 3."
yeah, yeah, yeah. It's a possibility too.
Rico says you can
Um,
spoil the book.
okay, well, I mean, again, bro, this is not Action Blade. This is somebody put Black Columbo.
That's a good analogy.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. He's an investigator. He's an investigator in this book. What's going on? What's going on, Dion? What's up? Behind the scenes in the building. Happy Thanksgiving to you too, sir. But basically, he's the sheriff of the Vampire Nation. The Vampire Nation is located in Chernobyl, uh, away supposedly from human beings or whatever, and they're headed up by Dracula, and so Blade is doing an investigation uh, on behalf of Dracula, and that's all I'm gonna say about it. But it's not an action book. I'll just say it like there have been some cool covers. I don't know if you could pull up cover B or cover C, the one where he's on a horse. That's a cover by because there's no horses in this book. He's not he's not on a he's not on a horse in the book itself, but he is the sheriff of the Vampire Nation. So. But I will say that All Out Avengers is a pretty good book. That's been a fun book. So if we're going to get some Blade in that book, there'll probably be some action in it. But yeah, because All Out Avengers is an action book. So we'll have to wait, I guess, until that takes place, or whatever. So, but look, bro.
Here's the other covers.
Yeah, okay. Let's check them out. So yeah, that red and white one, that one there is fire. I like that.
That's the Unyok Lee variant.
Yeah, that's clean. That's clean. So but yeah, man, it's
This
I
one
mean
on the horse
it's
is pretty
always
dope.
yeah, the one with the horse is pretty dope. It's here's the thing about that one though. The thing about that one is you see how it looks on the screen there,
Yeah.
but in I saw it like in front of me, and it's pretty dark.
Mm.
It's not like the brown that's on there like that. That color's not the it's not I ain't gonna say it's not the same, but it's a pretty dark book. It's
So,
not defined.
so here's the thing with this book. I don't hate it. It's a different book because as Rich said, there's not a lot of action in it. It's not an action book. Um, Basically, the storyline is um, a member of the for those who don't know, some time ago, Dracul, the head of the vampire nation, or I should say, head of the vampires, um, is ultimately allowed, I should say, to take over Chernobyl in Russia to make it the new home of all vampires, basically a vampire nation that is recognized as such by the Avengers and the United Nations. So they're now their own country within Russia, with Dracula as its figurehead, but there is a vampire council
Yes.
um, of advisors. And one of the council members is killed in a way that would suspect that the true person that was the target was actually Dracula himself. So Dracula employs his sheriff, who is Blade, um, to investigate the murder and determine who the culprit is, uh, gather all the evidence so that Dracula can execute the person to show that justice is done in the vampire nation. Dracula's reasoning in using Blade is to make sure that the vampire nation recognizes that this is a true nation where justice is there and there's order, and he wants to set up a society that is orderly and working. So it really is, as Rich said, someone said, a Columbo book where Blade is taking up the part of an investigator. This book is less about Blade than it is about the current status of the vampire nation in Chernobyl. There hasn't been that much of an exploration of what the society is. We know that it exists,
Mm-hmm.
but this is the first time you've actually gotten behind closed doors and see how they operate, because they actually have humans living there too, in three different roles. You have humans that work there as day laborers, who, because vampires obviously can't do stuff in the daytime, and they do the cleaning. They have humans that work as um, just generalized servants, and they have humans that are there as food, basically. Um, so, I mean, you
Yeah.
get to see those different aspects. So, this is really about exploring what is the current state of the vampire nation in the Marvel 616 universe. This book explores that and brings you up to speed as to what this world is. It is a perfect setup in case they decide to do a Blade book. So, if you're a Blade fan, if you're a vampire fan, it's worth it if you just want to see what is the current state of what it means to be a vampire in the world, in the Marvel world right now.
Yep.
So that's my take on it.
Yeah. What's going on, Mike? Yeah, man.
Big Mike in
Again,
the building.
I don't want to poo-poo the book, but if you're looking for action, this is not the book. This is a book. The book in and of itself, with the intrigue in terms of Blade investigating, it's a pretty solid read. So again, what I'm saying, I'm just looking for uh Blade to hack up some vampires. Now, behind the scene, I ask questions. Did y'all pick up Brandon Easton's Common Rider comic? Marcus Williams is doing a pop-up manga. Good to see Black creators touching some popular IPs. That's what's up.
No, I just
Marcus
found out
Williams,
about that Common Rider, and I didn't get a chance to pre-order it. So I'll have to actually go down to my LCS and see if I can get that.
bro. Speaking of pre-order stuff, I just got the new Marvel uh pre-order book, free
Yeah.
previews. It's got a lot of good stuff in it, bro.
Well,
Y'all check some of this stuff.
we'll do a segment on that towards the end. Let's finish these books that you wanted to look at for this
Okay,
week.
okay. Well,
One of the
that's
books
the
that you
biggest
mentioned
one.
was, huh?
That was really the only one. I mean, you
Oh,
got some books you want to talk about?
yeah. Let's just run through a couple of them. Today's Wednesday, so I hadn't had a chance to read all that much. But there's a few books here that I think are worth mentioning.
Because I hadn't been to the shop. I went to a shop today, but I didn't go to my shop.
Gotcha.
So
all right. So
what came out
one of the
today?
books, huh?
So was it what came out today?
So here's one of the books. As I said before, at the end of Blade Vampire Nation, it says if you want more Blade, go check him out on All Out Avengers.
That came out. See, I didn't even know that came out today.
Yeah, it did. It did.
Wow.
So,
Okay.
nondescript cover. There's both Captain Americas on there. They're fighting a bunch of skulls. If you're not familiar with this series, the concept is kind of like the All Out Spider-Man series, which is there's not a lot of plot.
Yeah.
It's just action. Like when you turn to the first page and by the time you get to the second page, you're embroiled in action. And the action doesn't let up. If you're trying to say, well, what's going on? You're thinking too hard. It's not that type of book. There's not a lot of plot. I've been reading this series. I still don't know what the hell's going on in terms of the big picture. And that's kind of the plot, actually, is that the Avengers are having these mind wipe moments where they have these gaps in their memory, and they just find themselves in the middle of a battle, and they're like, well, what just happened? I feel like I've had a Groundhog Day where I've repeated this, and I don't remember the last 12 hours of what's going on, and they're all the same. And then, the last issue had a different character. They had Dr. Doom. In this issue, it's Red Skull. And
it's a fun book. There's some fun books. I picked up the first one. I picked up the first one because it had the variant, the Blade Scotty Young variant.
Yeah, that was a dope one. I picked that one up too with the yellow cover. I know you like those yellow covers.
Yes, sir.
Now here's the most interesting thing for y'all that I think you should check out. Remember, I tell you, this is issue 3. As you get in, what's the first thing that you notice here? Here's the lineup.
Yeah. Black Panther, Blade, yes. Black folk.
You have 3 black characters in the same comic book. You remember our rule. If there are 3 black characters in the comic book, it's what, Rich?
A black book.
It's a black book. This is the Dwayne McDuffie rule.
Yep.
So
and
this is a
don't go out and buy multiple copies. At least leave me one on the shelf, because I know when this gets out and people are gonna start looking, they're gonna go. That book won't be on the shelf.
Yeah, this is a black book, and oddly enough, the antagonist in this is Red Skull, and they make mention of that. They go, let's beat up the white supremacist or Nazi or whatever I think they call him a white supremacist or something like that. The bigot. They call him the bigot. Let's beat up the bigot. And so, apropos that you have these 3 black characters in this book when that's happening.
That's what's up.
So, highly recommend this book.
Frustrated Fan Sports Show. He asked a question. He said, what are your thoughts on the Wildcats title under the DC banner? Well, I will say this, that I don't know if you've seen the 90 homage covers, Paul, that have come out.
I've seen a few of them.
Yeah, I think the Wildcats book is, I think it's all red and it's fire. Wildcats, I think that was a Jim Lee book initially, when it was on Image and Wildstorm. Well, not Wildstorm. Is it Wildstorm? I think it might be Wildstorm, but I know when it was on Image I think that was Jim Lee's book. So I have not read it. I can't say it. I can't speak on it because I hadn't read it. You tell us what are your thoughts about it? Because should I go pick it up? I do know that the 90s cover that they just put out, that was issue 1, but that's
you said 3 black characters. Are you saying there's 3 black characters in the Wildcats?
No. I think he was talking about the book that we just covered.
Oh.
Talking about that book. So, but the cover I'm looking for, I hadn't seen it yet, is the I Am Batman 90s cover that they're going to do. That's going to sell out. I don't know if you can even find that, Paul.
What's it called?
Can
I
you
Am
see if you
Batman.
can
What?
find that book? I Am Batman. I think it's going to be, I don't know if it's number 15 or 16, but all the DC, some of the DC books are going to have this 90s throwback. I know there's a Joker one that's all green. Batman, regular Batman, I think he was all silver. But the I Am Batman book is supposed to be one of the homage covers. I hadn't seen it yet. So I was just curious if you had seen it.
Is that the one with the Azrael versus Batman?
I don't think so. I don't think so. I think it's just the I Am Batman title, just the regular story. I hadn't
Okay.
seen it though. I hadn't seen it.
Well, here's the upcoming I Am Batman books, the latest ones, I should say.
Okay.
Um,
Don't see it there.
I tell you this though, the two covers that really stand out, the covers that stand out to me on this list here is this one.
And the next one.
That's Jace and his sister Tiffany on the cover. She's wearing her costume. Don't know what her
Yeah.
name is going to be yet. I like this cover. Someone had told me what this was originally an homage to. I don't remember what it was. But I know that,
Wow.
for example, the antagonist had their first issue with the same cover. But that was
Okay.
also an homage to another
No
cover, which I
mind.
can't
Yeah.
remember.
Yeah.
This is a dope one. This is issue 14. That's with Tiffany on it for the first time solo in her costume. This book's had a lot of good covers. So the latest one is this one, issue 13, issue 16.
Yeah.
And I wonder if I click on it. Can you still see the screen there?
Yeah.
All right. So let's see. There's two other covers here.
Maybe they don't have it. I thought they had one though. I don't know where I got that from. I think somebody told me.
This one's a dope one. Who did this? Cully Hammer. This is the 1 in 25.
Shoot, that's gonna go for some bread.
That's a dope cover.
Yeah. Now, Frustrated Facebook says, I think it will become a better title as it moves forward. I don't like what they did with Michael Cray. He's the only black character with the Wildcat team. That's true. Speaking of Michael,
Well, no, there's Voodoo. Voodoo's black, isn't she?
That's up for debate.
I think she is, as they used to call it, Creole.
Yeah. Speaking of Michael Cray, you can go to Dollar Bins and pick up the Michael Cray book that was on Wildstorm. Frustrated Fan says they don't have her in the title yet.
Yeah.
Louisiana Kid, he says, just finished Black Adam number 6 and it was great. I wasn't feeling 1 through 4, but all my interest changed in number 5 when Batman showed up. Yeah, that'll happen.
Moderator Tamiko in the building. What's up, Tamiko? Tamiko's traveling right now.
Yeah, please be safe. You shouldn't be watching us if you're driving.
She said Voodoo is brown, not black. I don't know what that means.
Okay. She probably Latinx. Latinx. One of them.
Louisiana Kid says, just finished Black Adam 6. It was great. I was feeling 1 and 4, but all my interest changed in 5 when Batman showed up. It really changed the whole tone of everything when Batman showed up. It's like he wasn't necessary.
Everything is always better with Batman. I want to show you this. Are you reading the Batman Beyond the White Knight book?
No. I had a few issues. Yes, that's one of the issues I had with Duke Thomas as Robin.
Yeah, Duke Thomas on the cover. Yes. I want to get that, y'all. Like you want some bread one day.
The other book that came out this week was this book, Defenders Beyond.
Okay.
Have you read this?
Man, I read issue 1 and I kind of put it down. I don't even know what
It's
really was
it's
going
it's a
on.
lot. It's a big story. It's written by Al Ewing. He's one of my favorite writers.
Right.
Al Ewing gets a plate from the cookout with aluminum foil on it because of his ability to write black characters with substance and dignity. That dude does a tremendous job with black characters, and I always give shout out to him every chance I get. I love Al Ewing,
You know
but
what?
this
I want to ask
story,
you.
huh?
Now, it's interesting. Was it issue 2 or issue 3 where he kind of like goes in depth a little bit with Monica Rambeau and Blue Marvel, their relationship? Is that
Uh,
the thinking
that was
about something?
actually in Thunderbolts.
Thunderbolts? Yes. Speaking of Thunderbolts,
That was in
good cover.
Thunderbolts.
Good
But hold
cover.
on, before you get to that, let me. Oh yeah, that's a dope cover. We're gonna go over that in a second. Just real quick, big story. Um, what I didn't like about the book is that it's one of those things that you have to have read other issues in other books to have understood the generalized big. It's a cosmic book, and
Yeah.
so it's big. It has to do with eternity, and it has to do with the Beyonder, and it has to do with Loki. So it's everything's very cosmic, and it gets really out there, and it's hard to follow for me, honestly.
Yeah.
But I bought it primarily because Blue Marvel and America Chavez are in it. Kind of like, almost half the Ultimates are on that team, and it's just an
Yeah.
opportunity. I mean, this is Blue Marvel is the lead in this book. I mean, they don't call him the leader, but he takes the lead. So this is like his team. This is Blue Marvel's first official team where he is really the leader of the team.
He
Um,
didn't want to do
yeah, but it
it.
was good. I mean, I enjoyed just seeing every scene that he was in. That's what caught my attention. So for that alone, I recommended that book. Now show us that Thunderbolts book
Yes, this is Thunderbolts. This is the variant cover with Spectrum. Shout
or
out to Monica
Photon.
Rambeau.
I think
Got
we're
like,
supposed to call her Photon now.
yeah, well, we're calling her Photon, but on this cover, she's Spectrum. On the back page of these variants that they're giving you power ratings and giving you a little bio information. So
That's dope.
these hero covers, these variant covers are pretty cool to have. Matter of fact, I saw some back and forth. Herschel was going back and forth with a guy over her power set, and you know, Monica's getting a little shine. Matter of fact, shout out to the Marvels movie who debuted some information and a picture of Monica Rambeau's uniform. Uh,
Yes,
that was
indeed.
that was that was major. That was major. We had been looking for a better uniform for her, and looks like we're going to get it. H&H, shout out to Derek. He says, Black Comic Lords itching toward closer to 1,000 subscribers. Please, guys, while you're in here, please hit the like button and share this video. Tell everybody that we're live. Tell a loved one, tell a hater. I don't care. Uh, hit the like button, though, please. But behind the scenes says, I prefer the name Spectrum. Got introduced her to Al Ewing's Mighty Avengers. Yeah. Yeah, the thing about Monica Rambeau is she would be, I'm going to be honest with you, if, there's Storm and then there's like Monica. Because I think Monica edges out Misty Knight only because of power set.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And but if Monica Rambeau, aka Spectrum, aka Photon, was in more books, she would definitely be a lot popular. And when
Chad
when
is Chad
when
is asking
Marvel,
you what was that issue that you held up with Monica on it
yeah, this
of
is
Thunderbolts?
Thunderbolts issue number 4. Thunderbolts issue 4. So yeah, go pick that up. Shout out to shout out to look, bro. We're not talking Wakanda tonight. We done with that. we have shot that rabbit, we have cooked it, and we have ate it.
We slapped it up, flipped it, rubbed it down already, man.
It's like, what's going on with you, though, bro? He said, I'm gonna log off social media when Captain Marvel 2 comes out. That's funny. But the Marvels movie,
there's one cool thing about this Monica announcement this week.
yeah.
Chad tells you thank you for the info. Let me show you. I thought was really cool in that stuff they released on the Marvels. Take a look at this.
Yeah, man.
That's
That's big. Yay, there it is.
And what do you see on her chest?
Yep.
The fleur de lis.
Yep.
For those comic heads that are into Monica Rambeau, you know that she is from Louisiana. Yep. Specifically, I believe she's from New Orleans, where she was a harbor patrol police officer, a lieutenant at the time. And so having that fleur de lis on her chest to represent where she's from is kind of dope. That's a nice little homage there. So appreciated that. I'm looking forward to her. She's finally got a super suit. Man, let me tell you, when they released the Funko Pop and the action figure for her, I need a statue. I need a statue of Monica Rambeau. She's overdue. She's never had an official licensed statue by Marvel. That's what I really want.
Yeah, that's definitely gonna probably sell out. It's gonna be hard to get that when that does drop. You guys are gonna have to pre-order that because I cannot see that being on the shelf long at all.
Yes, sir.
The Lord of Brooklyn says I had to get in one shot as I missed in the round table. Yeah, that's what's up. Yeah, we had fun doing
watch it on replay, man. It's on YouTube. Everybody here. Yeah. If you haven't checked it out yet, please check out our YouTube page, Black Comic. Just Google Black Comic Lords. If you put in Black Comic, we pop up right there on YouTube. So Black Comic Lords, and subscribe to our channel, please, if you haven't done so already, and check out that latest videos that we did on Wakanda Forever. It got heated a little bit.
Yeah, man. Yeah. You know what's funny though? I picked up some books today. I want to drop these books real quick.
Yeah.
Man, check this out. So, shout out to Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. Ken Gardner says, "Good evening, Black Marvel, good comic lords. Two things I wish Marvel would do in this miniseries on Blue Marvel to team up with Blue Marvel and Black Panther. That would be so awesome." Yes, sir. I agree. Too much like right, but right Marvels. Send them a tweet. Tweet at Marvel.
Bring back the Ultimates.
Yeah. Right, that would be cool.
Dion asks, "Is Blue Marvel our last hope?" Nah, not really.
Nah.
No, not really.
If he's our last hope, we're in trouble.
It may be a minute.
Check this out. I figured you'd love this. Shout out to the Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson and Black Adam. When sis Black Panther showed up, everybody was like, "Black Adam who?" But
that's a damn shame.
Check this out. Scorpion King comic book. Yes, sir.
What?
The Dollar Bin Bully strikes again. Yes, sir.
Apparently so. What issue number is that?
It's number 1.
Yeah, I might have to get that. I gotta represent my dude.
Yeah,
at all times because we support each other.
You get the local comic shop. They come. No, not today. But check the other one out. I got these two. The genius that is Nate Moore doesn't like comic fans on Marvel Project.
He's trying to force us to talk about this.
We're not doing that.
Dude, that'd be a whole nother show, dude.
A little bit later on, perhaps. But check this out. So Samuel L. is my guy. And this is Snakes on the Plane, number 1.
That's a dope cover.
Yeah. And number 2.
If you put an eye patch on that first cover, you have Nick Fury with the best cover I've ever seen.
Yeah, Nick Fury's no joke. And I picked this up. Amazing Spider-Man.
I agree, Dion. I hope Black Adam, makes some more bread on the secondary market or something, man.
Well, you heard it's getting ready to drop on HBO Max.
Yeah.
So, they figured they'd maybe get the subscriber. They figured they got their bread. So They just gonna go ahead and put it on Max. Maybe it's HBO can get some more subscribers or whatever. I don't know. That's gonna happen. But this here is yeah, Mike
Most
Carson. Yes, sir. That was Snakes on the Plane, #1, issue 1 and 2.
well,
That's
show the
Wild
cover you
Storm
just
comic.
showed. No, go back.
Which
The
one?
one that you just held up, the yellow one. The Amazing
Oh yeah,
Spider-Man.
Amazing Spider-Man 271.
And what's the
I read
significance
my
of it?
first appearance of Manslaughter. I brought this up because I used our website, blackcomiclords.net, went into the back issue explorer, looking for black keys. Ladies and gentlemen, Paul, why don't you just bring up the site so everybody, so people can know what we talk about.
Let's tell these people.
Yeah, this is a black key. This is the first appearance of Manslaughter, black villain. Okay, but I bought this book today, and it was in long box. And so if you go on our website, blackcomiclords.net, and go to the back issue Explorer. Yes, sir. Black issue Explorer. Black issue Explorer. If you go there, it's going to pull up all of these cool books and the significance of them. And so if you're somebody that wants to collect comics, if you're somebody who wants to add to your collection and you may not know what you want to add, or you want to just add more keys, you can go to our website and you can click on these covers. And when you click on the cover, it'll bring you up the information as to what it is. What's the significance of the book? Click on that real quick, Paul, so they'll know what
Amazing
we're talking about.
Spider-Man 271.
Yes, sir. And once you
Came out in
click on it,
1985.
yes, sir. And it will pull up the information and give you the significance of the book.
First appearance, Manslaughter Marsdale, a supervillain. This is also his first cover appearance. And the other thing you might want to note on this page, on the Black Issue Explorer, when you pull up these individual issues, there's a buy on eBay button. There's also a view recent eBay sold prices. So it allows you to first see how much this book has normally sold for, and gives you the opportunity to go ahead and buy that book right there on eBay at the best price.
That's what's up. Now let's get some of these comments in real quick.
We did all the work for you guys. You want to build your black collection? It's right here.
We did the work for you. Just support.
You're welcome, by the way.
Support the channel. Let's get some of these comments. Now, Louisiana Kid says this may be an unpopular comment, but Duo was the best relaunch book that Milestone did. I mean, it was solid from beginning to end. I couldn't wait until the next book. I will say this about Duo. Duo was a great book. I gotta say, but you know, and Duo I would say is a great book. But my favorite, of course, was Icon and Rocket. That was my favorite book. You know, Reginald Hunter did his thing. He did his thing on that book. So, but you're right. Duo was a real good book. Slept on book. I too feel like a lot of people slept on it. Now I will say that we're bringing up these books now. You guys that have comic shops in your areas. So Friday is going to be Black Friday, and some of your LCSs probably are going to have some dope sales. I'm going to an LCS here where I'm at, and the books that are on the wall are all $1. That's the big books. That's the small books. They're all $1 a piece.
That's just your Texas stores, man. I don't get Texas.
Shout out to the Lone Star State, baby. Yeah, appreciate it, Dion. Those are, yeah. Thanks, Chad. I appreciate that. Yeah, man. I picked them up, and they were some cool books to grab. You know what I'm saying? I grabbed some other stuff too, but you know, some Luke Cage stuff too, man. Now, Ken says I've been reading DC Comics, Rebirth, graphic novels, and Super Action Comics, Doomsday Clock, Batman, Flash, The Button. All great comics to read, no doubt. But I tell you what, Kenneth, I hope you're reading the new Batman run by Chip Zdarsky, because that is fire.
Yeah, 129 just dropped on that.
Yeah,
Derek mentions shout out to Herschel for getting so many of those issues loaded into the Explorer. For real, I mean, between uh, Derek, as many of you guys know, is Doctor Wizard. He's the guy that makes everything look cool and fresh and swaggy. Um, Herschel is that mad scientist dude who is like an underrated researcher. That dude has the if he doesn't know it, he'll find it for you. And he spent many hours getting the information, uploading those books to the website. So shout out to Herschel Lewis for that.
yeah. We appreciate. We love our dude. We give him hell, but we supposed to.
Yeah,
That's
the
that's
dude
our guy.
definitely deserves his recognition.
Yeah. So but guys, for real, check out your comic shop on Fridays, man, because some of your shops are gonna have some dope sales on your dollar books, and you just got to be plugged in. See, one of the advantages I have here being on social media is that we have what's called a DFW comic book page, and so whenever the shops that are in town are having certain sales, whatever, they drop them and they post them or whatever. So I already know where to go, when to go, you know what I'm saying, or where to go when they have certain sales. And so Black Friday, I usually drop usually a yard on Black Friday, just because it's a lot of books to get. And like I said, you could fill up a short box for $50, and you know, I mean, if you got some disposable income, yeah, Black Friday's the day definitely to catch a book. Now he says, what do you think about DC Milestone Icon V hardware, like Batman, Superman style? I think it's gonna be dope.
Man, I'm looking
I
forward
think
to
it's
that
gonna be
book.
dope. Yeah, I am looking forward to it. But I tell you what, I hope that it's better than the hardware book. That was a big disappointment. As far as the Milestone relaunch, I hardware was my guy, back in the day. But man, they left stuff to be desired when they dropped that. This
I really, and it pains me to say this. It pains me. If y'all that know me, I'm the hugest Milestone fan. You'd be hard pressed to find someone who's a bigger Milestone fan than I am, for real. Um, but that and hardware, as Rich said, hardware was my favorite out of all the books. But that second run, it left a lot to be desired. To be honest with you, it just seemed like the story was kind of not well thought out.
no,
Um,
no,
as well as I like to have been.
they tried to go old school with it, and the first issue I thought was incredible, and then it just went downhill after that. So, but
Yeah, I mean,
hey,
I think if especially if you've never read the original hardware, you'd be really lost as to what the hell's going on and who all these people are. They didn't really explain who a lot of these people were.
nope,
So even me, who was an old time hardware fan, had a hard time sort of following along a little bit. There are some Easter eggs here and there for people that are longtime fans, but for the goal, I think, with Milestone 2.0 really should be putting your books in a position where if you've never read a Milestone book, you can pick it up and just appreciate it for itself without even knowing about the original stuff, but throwing in the Easter eggs and the homages to the original material. Icon and Rocket did that perfect. Blood Syndicate by Jeffrey Thorne did that perfect. Um,
yeah,
but hardware just I don't know. It got a little lost in the sauce, and it kept getting delayed. So I'm not certain what happened there.
yeah. Now I will say this too for you DC guys, if you want to read something pretty cool. Now Paul might not like this guy, but this dude is, he does all right on DC books, and that's John Ridley. John Ridley did the one
I
shot.
got no problems with John Ridley. Let me be more specific. I got one problem with John Ridley, and that's the Black Panther run. Beyond that, I'm a big John Ridley fan. I got
Yeah,
his poster
yeah.
for
So John
history
Ridley
of
did,
Black the DC universe up on my wall. I'm a big
yeah,
John Ridley fan.
yeah.
Just not a Black Panther.
There's a Batman uh DC Black Label book, You know what? I don't think this is not Black Label. It's regular DC book, but there's a DC book series of books called Batman One Bad Day. They're doing one with the Penguin. They're doing there's the one with the Riddler. I think there's one with Two Face. But this one here, he did this one. He did this one for the Penguin, and this is
Yeah, it's
pretty
dope.
good. Pretty good, man. So you might want to check that out. Somebody put up a post in the chat, not in the chat, but in on Black Comic Lords, or it might have been Black Superheroes Forever. They asked our thoughts on facsimiles and reprints. And I'm gonna just say this for the record. You know, I want to talk about those real quick. Say I got issues with Ridley too. um, if you cannot go out and get the original book, if you just don't have the bread for that, because that's a lot of bread, bro. Some of these books cost $2, $3, $4, $500. There's nothing wrong with getting the reprint. There's nothing wrong with getting a facsimile. Now, if you are a hardcore collector, somebody might frown on it or whatever. But bro, if you can't fork over all that bread, man, do yourself a favor. It's just like this here. You know, I don't have the money for all Negro comics, but you should have the money. You should have this in your collection.
That's
Just
on my
because.
Christmas list.
That's just now there is a 75-year anniversary book that they're trying to do
The
on
Kickstarter.
Kickstarter.
I've already donated to that.
Yeah, and I'm hoping that it's successful. But if I don't have that kind of bread to get this book, because this book here, I only know one guy that has this book in our space, and that's Stephen Bauer. Shout out to him. But you should have this in your
can I do a plug? Can I do a plug?
Sure.
One of the things that we've been talking about is, Tamiko mentioned, facsimiles is a great way to so you don't have to spend rent money, and you talked about, saving some bread by buying that reprint of all Negro comics, which is a very significant book. Dion pointed out that he wished we could do a super chat to help support us. Appreciate that, Dion. But there are easy ways that you can support the Black Comic Lords, and I don't mean to interrupt you guys' enjoyment of the show, but this is a real thing. We need to have money to make all of this work and to do the things to bring you guys this great content. And right now, we're basically paying for all this out of our own pockets. It'd be nice if we had the money to help this fund itself.
Yeah.
And so Derek points out a few ways that you can help out the Black Comic Lords. One of them, there's an Amazon link on our blackcomiclords.net website with a description for this live. So here's the thing. We got Christmas coming up. A lot of us do our shopping on Amazon. I do all my Christmas shopping on Amazon. All you got to do is go to the blackcomiclords.net site, click on one of the Amazon links, and then do all your shopping from that link. We get a little kickback for anything that you buy, and that's an easy way that you can help support the Black Comic Lords doing what you're already doing, and it doesn't cost you any extra money.
No.
Easy way. Help
Easy
us out.
peasy.
The other way that he mentions is we on our website we have a link to Things from Another World. Very good comic book company based out of the Northwest. Very good on pre-orders. I'm a big proponent of pre-orders. Pre-order some books. Buy some newer books on that website using that link, and it also helps to support us. So we don't have Super Chat yet. We need to get our 1,000 subscribers on our YouTube channel, which will allow us to get that monetized. But in the interim, 2 easy ways to help support us doing what you already do. It doesn't cost you any extra money out of your pocket whatsoever. Simply do your shopping from our Amazon link and buy some comics that you're normally going to buy anyway from Things from Another World using our link. So that's our PSA plug for the minute.
Mike says, let's do some lives on TikTok. Sometimes viewers can add gifts and cash directly to the page while viewing. Yeah. let me hit this comment that Lord of Brooklyn said. He says Icon will be a great series under gun for this era. A black ultra conservative, an icon, and a Twitter era revolutionary as a sidekick.
Yes, sir.
Well, the problem with that is that Hudlin has changed up Icon a little bit. He has conservative views, but he did not focus on any of his conservatism in the season one of the run. We'll see what he does for season two, but he kind of moved him away from that. I think that's what made them in the original run incredible. The fact that they were two people from opposite spectrums or whatever, and they still are. But yeah,
Yeah,
this,
they got
in this
away
day
from the
and age,
language of being a Republican. You don't hear that mentioned in Hudlin's new run. I
no,
think in large part because the times have changed. What it meant to be a Republican back in the early 90s and what it means to be now a Republican in this current polarized party system that we have today, there's two different meanings. Back then, you could be like, I'm a Republican because I just like to keep all the bread in my pocket. I'm not big on taxes and I'm conservative in my values. Um, I'm a Reagan Republican. Today's Republicans, that's a whole nother beast when you got the Trumpites and maggots and stuff like that. It has a totally different connotation to be a black Republican now than it did back then. So I think to stay away from that, they're showing that he is more of a conservative, but they're not calling him that per se.
right. Now, let me say this about going back real quick. We're gonna jump right back into this, but I do want to say that the Fantastic Four 52 facsimile did drop today as well. There is a Fantastic Four 52. That is the first appearance of Black Panther. The facsimile came out today.
It did?
Sure. Yes, it did. Yes, it did. I had it. I had it pre-ordered. So you can go get that also for $3.99 or $4.99. It might be $5.99. I know I pre-ordered it. I got the email about it today. So yeah,
you know, the cool thing you can do with those facsimiles is, you know, a lot of us are hesitant to display our comics like on the wall or in your room or something. Facsimiles are the perfect books to do that. You can have, you know, key comics displayed in great displays on your wall inside your house. You don't have to worry about, man, I'm damaging this comic or it's going to fade with the sun or something like that because you only spent $3.99 for it.
Yep. And trust me, in a few weeks or so, that Fantastic Four 52 facsimile is going to go for a few dollars. I want to show y'all this one. This is Wonder Woman 204. This is the facsimile.
Yeah.
For Wonder Woman 204, the first appearance of Nubia.
That came out today too?
No, this came out a couple of weeks ago. So
wow.
you can kind of go to your LCS and find that as well. So, you know, I know there are guys that frown on the facsimiles, but you know, hey, if you want certain books in your collection and you can't pay the bread to get them books, you know, get the facsimile or whatever, just so you can say you have it. You know what I'm saying?
Mike Carson says, do some lives on TikTok sometimes. Viewers can add gifts and cash directly to the page while viewing.
We're going to leave that to Hirsch. He's the TikTok guy. Yeah, but shout out to Mike for letting us. And that's let's be real. Hudlin already wrote. Go back to that. Wrote the script for the whole Icon trilogy. The DCEU is a mess. Hashtag safe.
Don't get us started. Don't get Rich started on the save static.
I'm gonna need you to be a little bit more. Listen.
Look, if you think recast T'Challa was a big movement, don't get Rich started on save static.
No, well, look. Let me just say this: the situation at Warner Brothers, not DC. Warner Brothers owns DC. It's a mess. They pulled the plug on a lot of stuff. Static is probably not going to get made. The Superman movie today, the Black Superman movie, the Black Clark Kent movie is probably not going to get made. It's got a lot of stuff.
I got no problems with that one, actually.
So, you know, exactly. We didn't ask for that, so we not really cared about that. But I do want to see the Static live action. I don't know if the money's going to be there for Static. I mean, it is what it is. Now,
and this is why I'm upset with Tyler Perry. Tyler Perry has his studios that he lets Marvel use to make all these movies. I mean, Tyler, you can't just.
Why are you upset with Tyler? Look, bro, let me tell you something. I don't need Tyler near a Marvel movie. I don't need Tyler near.
Oh, man, it's not about him. It's about his studios, man. He's got studios. He's got decent studios, Marvel quality studios. I mean,
what should he do?
There's probably some type of exclusivity contract that he has, which prevents DC from being able to use it. So Milestone, go ahead and start their universe there. And that's a damn shame.
That sounds too much like right. I agree, but I don't know if that's going to happen. Listen, y'all talking politics. We're not talking politics tonight. Y'all keep that in the chat. We ain't talking about.
Who's talking politics?
Somebody the Royals of Brooklyn. You talk about Herschel Walker. And listen, the Herschel Walker that I love and adore went to Georgia. The Herschel Walker I love and enjoy ran for the Cowboys and played for the Minnesota Vikings. This dude that's running for senator, I don't know that dude. So, y'all keep me abreast of what's happening with him. Something has happened. I think he's an industry plant. So that's all I'm gonna say about that.
Lords Brooklyn said Hudlin is very active on this forum, except regarding the movie we won't talk about. I will ask him about it. You can ask him. I don't necessarily even know if he may know the answer, because Warner Brothers is in a state of flux right now. Now, good news is James Gunn and whatever dude, Safran, I don't remember the guy's name, have taken over DC movies. I don't know if the DC movies includes Milestone based on their contract. I don't know. I mean, they could. If that's the case,
I doubt it. I'll be honest.
I very much doubt it. I got the impression that Milestone was kind of doing its own thing. Perhaps that can be revisited under the new DC banner. I don't know.
We'll see. The thing is, Milestone is privately owned.
Yeah,
Milestone is a Black-owned business. Some people, the thought is DC owns Milestone. It's not true.
They do not.
We've already established that no, Milestone is an independent entity who gets his book distributed through DC. Now, what's cool is they'll be able to work together because we're getting a Static and Batman Beyond miniseries, I believe, right? Or is that going to be a one shot?
I believe I don't know if it's a miniseries or a one shot.
Yeah, but we're getting a crossover book with Batman Beyond and Static.
Nicholas Draper Ivey is doing it.
Yeah. So, yeah, Mike, I agree with you. Tyler can't touch the films. No. Let's look. I kind of want to switch gears, bro, and talk about some of this stuff that's coming out, man. These are some books that y'all need to look for or actually pre-order. Like my man Paul always telling you to pre-order books. So let me just give y'all some Marvel books that are coming up. He said Medea goes to Dakota.
Dion got jokes. Medea goes to Dakota. That's messed up.
I don't want to see that. I would not. I do not want to see it. You're going to see people with bad wigs.
Mike says he doesn't see a Static being made. Hopefully we at least get a cartoon or animated movie.
Yeah,
man, that's tough to hear from Mike, man. That dude's Static collection is unparalleled.
He's hardcore. So, Storm and the Brotherhood of Mutants. There is a X-Men crossover that's coming out, and that's the Sins of Sinister.
Mm-hmm.
And the beginning of that, or whatever, there's going to be a mini series, Storm and the Brotherhood of Mutants. Al Ewing is writing the book, and that's coming up pretty soon. So there's the cover, I believe, of the first book.
Yeah,
so if you want to get some Storm books, of course, there's going to be some other stuff. Red Goblin coming out. Don't care about that. Don't care about Dark Web. That's going to be coming out pretty soon. But here we go. Bloodline, Daughter of Blade. That's coming out.
Ooh. I hope that book is good. It's written by Danny Lore, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. This is going to be a miniature series. It's going to be 5 issues. So y'all, please pre-order that.
I hope the book
And
has action, man. I hope it has action because what they've released so far
well,
with
there
that
goes some extra
character.
pages. Like,
What is that? Let me
there's
see
some
if I can
action
make it.
pages here from the book.
Hold on.
Couple of pages, if you can, yeah, pull me up like that. So got a few action. It's got some action in it. How much action, we'll see, but I can imagine that it's going to probably be pretty good. So we got that coming as well. And of course, here's the other one. Here's the other big book, Bishop, War College.
That's the book I asked Marvel to make.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So that's coming out. That's going to be 5 issues. So Bishop is going to have his own book as well. And of course, Ghostlight.
Woo! Ghostlight got a full page. Man, I might get that thing just so I can rip that page up and hang it up. It's like a little mini poster.
Yeah,
Full
Ghostlight.
page spread.
Ghost, yeah, written by our very own John Jennings. 5 issues.
Hey, Austin Crafton's in the building. One of our super fans, man.
Hey, what's
Hit
going
the
on?
like
What's
button
going
for the
on, man?
family. I appreciate that, brother.
Yeah. So we got that coming. We got, like I say, stuff coming out January, February is going to be amazing. He says, "Who would you
Oh,
like to write Black Panther to make T'Challa great again?"
well, thank you for asking,
I love,
Kenneth.
I love how you guys just ask. We're gonna get to that in a second. We're gonna answer your question,
Thank you
Kenneth.
for the alley oop, my friend. Thank
We'll
you for
answer that in a
asking.
second.
I have a
We'll answer
list.
that in a second. And of course, the Photon book, Monica Rambeau,
Yeah.
that's
Look,
coming out.
February is gonna be blackity
Black, 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 black. And don't forget about the Deadpool book that just came out with the Notorious B.I.G. on the cover. There, I might want to go grab that if you
Derek
can
says,
find
when
it.
you get a minute, can you show that picture Mike posted today of his statics? All right, let me see what I can do. You keep talking while I try and find the picture. Derek, can you
Okay.
put it to me in the chat or something in our chat?
So we got that coming as well. And here's a good one. Here's a good one. Marvel Voices Wakanda. This is a one shot, 56 pages. Marvel Voices one shot, Wakanda. Wakanda Forever, I should say. Written
Yeah, so
by,
I got
I know you got thoughts.
I have thoughts. I have thoughts. All right, so here's the deal. Y'all know me. You know I'm a member of the cult of Bast, clearly. I'm not going to do the recast of T'Challa thing. I'm not getting into that discussion again. But I will point out this. Marvel, as I predicted 2 years ago, is doing what I feared, which is they are trying to develop a narrative where the emphasis is less on T'Challa and more on Wakanda. Um, it's a double-edged sword for me. I'm kind of torn about it because on the one hand, I think about like the Jungle Action run written by the great Don McGregor, in
Mm-hmm.
which Wakanda was really sort of defined, and you know Wakanda as a backdrop was as much a character as T'Challa was in that run. Great run. I'm one of those people that really believes Wakanda is tremendously underexplored as a society. The only thing we always learn about Wakanda is you have a faction of people that don't want us to I say us because I'm Wakandan, don't want the Wakandans to uh keep focusing on technology and dealing with the outsiders. They want us to go back to traditional ways. And you have another side that's kind of like, screw you, let's, do our thing. And they have civil war. Well, they fight over, the fact that T'Challa's always out being an Avenger and not really being a king. That's kind of beating a dead horse type of storyline, without much exploration of Wakanda beyond that. So I do like the idea of doing more stories on Wakanda and Wakandans, but I don't like the fact that they're pushing this narrative of let's de-emphasize T'Challa and focus on these other ancillary characters, because I think it's part of a larger push that's also going on in the MCU and making the MCU now push into the comics. And it's one thing if you want to like not recast a character in a movie or focus on other characters in the MCU in the movies, fine.
Right.
Just leave us Black Panther fans our Black Panther. Don't get rid of him.
Mm-hmm.
They haven't gotten rid of him. I shouldn't say that, but they've de-emphasized him.
Well, I mean, but we've all said though, Paul, to your point, you just said it. We want more stories about Wakanda. We're going to get that. Now, I don't want to think that we're not getting it or we're getting it at the expense of the T'Challa being gone. But nevertheless, we're going to get it. I mean, if you just want to, if you really want to think about it, would you get the Wakanda Atlas? Would you get the Dora Milaje training guide? Would you get the Wakandan files? Would you get that if you knew they had to take the emphasis or the focus off the T'Challa? Because all of those things that I just named have nothing to do with T'Challa.
Right. I mean, that's why I said it's a double-edged sword, because I want those things. I believe in exploring more of Wakanda. In fact, I if anything, I think that they should take it a step further in one regard. There are a lot, and I'm going to do a show on this. I'm going to promise y'all, I'm going to do a show on this. There are a lot of Wakandan characters not named T'Challa in the Marvel universe, like a lot. And quite a few of them are superpowered or super heroic hero characters. I would love to see a Wakandan super team. There was a Black Panther Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. book, and the only Wakandan on the team was like Okoye, I believe. It was mostly filled up with outsiders. I would love to see a Wakandan super team. That's going to be something I'm going to push for 2023. I want a Wakandan super team. Needs to happen. Overdue for happen. Character's been around since 1966. Not a single Wakandan super team. I think the closest we had was maybe in the what was that book where they had the three schools go up against each other? The Hunt.
Yeah.
And where they introduced the Wakandan school. And you had like these three young Wakandans on the same team. But that's what really needs to happen. Let's get back into. I'm sorry, I missed some of your comments, guys.
Austin asked the question. He says, "Who's the writer of the Marvel Voices?" Well, here's the thing about Marvel Voices. Marvel Voices is written by several different people. Junie Ba is one of the voices that will be featured. Junie Ba, Mareba Oyodele, Adam Sewer, and a few more. Again, this is a 56-page book, so this is going to be a thick book. It's probably going to have 6 or 7 writers, miniature stories, whatever. But again, we'll see what it will entail. Hopefully there'll be some T'Challa stories featured. I don't know, but again, we'll wait and see. It's Marvel Voices. So shout out to Angelique Roche. I'm sure she understands our passion for T'Challa. She wouldn't just disappoint us, would you, Angelique?
She would not. Dion asks, Spider-Man has transitioned into anyone can wear the mask with so many versions. Can anyone rock the Black Panther suit like Spider-Man variants? I think that's my fear of where they may try to go, is make the Black Panther like everyone can be Black Panther. Like we have a team of Black Panthers. I don't want that. I don't need a Black Panther verse. But even with the Spider-Verse, right? How many Spider-Man books are there? There's always like multiple Spider-Man books. Spider-Man is always Peter Parker. There are lots of guys that have, or women who have worn the Spider-Man mask. But at the end of the day, Spider-Man's Peter Parker. He's still going to have multiple books where it's just Peter Parker as Spider-Man. If I don't want to water down the Black Panther brand. We don't have that many superheroes that are at that level in terms of exposure, notoriety, merchandise. He's kind of the A1 on that list. And it's a short list. So there I don't necessarily know that would be doing him justice to do that.
Right. Well, we'll see. Now, I want to just close this out as far as the books I was talking about. There's one Star Wars book, Sana Starros. Beautiful cover.
Yes, her first solo book.
Yeah, she's going to have a book. She was featured
Solo,
in what?
She's Han Solo's ex-wife.
Yeah, but she was featured a whole lot in. Is it Captain Afra?
Dr. Afra. Dr. Afra. She and Dr. Afra are partners.
Yeah, so got that. And there is a Yoda book that Yoda issue #1 just came out. The only reason why I know that because I pre-ordered.
That is a good spec book for you people that are spec people. There are several first appearances in that book. Yeah. Star Wars books do well, and there are a lot of people don't realize that.
Yes, they do.
Back to this question, Kenneth Arthur is bringing it up again. Who should write Black Panther to bring T'Challa back to a Stone Explorer? All right, so we have a list. I have a list. It's an easy list. I mean, top of the list for me, other than bringing Reggie Hudlin and Christopher Priest back, Jeffrey Thorne is my number one guy. His King in Black one shot is the best one shot Black Panther's ever had. No one's done it better than that, before or after it. He's also the writer of season 5 of Avengers Assemble, which was called Black Panther's Quest. The whole season of that Avengers Assemble cartoon was dealt with Black Panther and Wakanda. And when you talk about, can you write Black Panther and do world building where you expand on Wakanda and go into Wakanda's lore and history and the people? He did that in that cartoon. He explored their history, gave shine to Shuri in that book, as well as had Black Panther be heroic. That brother is just, he's built to do Black Panther. And I know for a fact, because he's told me, he wants to write the damn book. So Marvel just needs to give him a shot. The other guy is the guy who just did this book that came out a couple weeks ago, Black Panther Unconquered, Brian Edward Hill. Another guy would be a great writer. Some other good writers, Evan Narcisse, who is currently writing a book that I'm going to talk about in a second. But he wrote Rise of the Black Panther, who rewrote the entire backstory on T'Challa and Wakanda, its history. He'd be an easy Black Panther writer. Some other ones, Jonathan Hickman. That dude wrote some of the best Black Panther stories, uplifted Black Panther, made him head of the Avengers, so to speak, or head of the Illuminati, I should say, in the new Avengers run, which is going to be part of this whole Secret Wars storyline you're going to see in the MCU. He did that. Jason Aaron actually did some good Black Panther stuff in Avengers. So there's a ton of writers that could uplift the character out of his present mire of obscurity and.
Okay, you named a few. Let me give you just a couple of guys.
I could do this all day, like Steve Rogers, man.
I know you can. So I will say, that Jeffrey Thorne will probably be my first. Second would probably be David Walker.
Oh, he's never written Black Panther, has he?
He hasn't, and which is why I would want a fresh take on Black Panther, and I think that he would give us that because
he ain't never writing for Marvel again.
But well, I mean, stranger things have happened. But um, I would have liked to see him um, get a shot. Also, his partner, Chuck Brown.
Chuck Brown. Yeah.
Yeah, he did. Remember, he did the Black Manta book. So there are guys that are capable of writing Black Panther.
More than capable.
Yeah. So again, it's all about what this. I'm gonna be honest with you. It's really all about what Marvel wants to do, because I'll throw another name out there. I don't know if he would want to do it.
I'm gonna chat on this.
I'll take anybody else at this point. Listen, guys. Let's see what he does with issue number 12.
What?
Issue
Why?
11
Why do we keep? Oh God, we've been saying this all year.
We gotta do it, bro. Listen,
I am tired of hearing this argument. Give him one more issue to
look,
make it all make sense. Give him one more. It's been a year.
Look. Let me say this. Okay. Now, Tom King wrote a lot of bad books on Batman, right? That's now he wrote a lot. I'm talking about over 70, 80 issues, maybe. He wrote a lot of bad books of Batman. We've only got 11 of John Ridley. And think about it like this, Paul. We have not really had a writer that is I would say this good, but just having a bad run. I'm talking about as far as black writers. Because again, the list isn't that long. So I think we got to get this guy. The last issue was the best issue in the run. That's why I'm like, let me see what he does to follow up what just happened in the run. So I have to give him, I have to be optimistic.
Chad's calling you out, dude.
Please, Rich, we keep hearing this. I mean, look, bro, listen. Let me tell you something. Let me take you guys back. Let me go back in time. All right. When Coates,
N.K. Jemisin should do a intergalactic Wakanda run. N.K. Jemisin writing the Black Panther sci-fi intergalactic Wakanda run. That would be dope.
Okay.
Thank you, frustrated fans.
Okay. Yeah, that's nice. That's real nice. But I mean, let me take
nice.
you back to just hold on, let me finish, Paul. Let me get this out. Let's go back to that run. The Intergalactic Empire of Wakanda. When that run was out, two of us, we were on polar opposites. You loved it, I hated it. And then COVID hit. And it literally took 6 months for that run to get the last 2 issues out. It limped its way to the finish. It was a great finish, but it limped its way there.
History-making finish. More black characters than any other book ever in Marvel.
We get it. We got the T-shirt. We got all of that. We know it. Here's the thing, though. When Coates was writing his book, the seat that you're sitting in, I was the one. Ask Herschel. I was the one killing him. I was killing Coates behind the Intergalactic Republic of Empire of Wakanda. I could not stand it. I'm like, how in the world does Black Panther go to space? I need. He says, for you, Rich, I'll try one more issue. Appreciate you, bro.
Don't encourage him, Chad.
Look, I'm gonna bring up. You know what? You know what I'm gonna do? I'm going to give you another. Matter of fact, I'm gonna give you a better analogy. You want to talk about a writer that wrote a questionable book, a questionable run, not even a questionable run, a questionable book. The Green Lantern book that just finished. That was Jeffrey Dorn. Okay, you remember that? Me and James. Shout out to JT, James Thomason. We were struggling with that book. we were we was like, Lord, this is terrible. This is trash. Give me one more issue, Richard. Give me one more issue. And I gave it another issue. But that issue 10, I was about to fire Jeffrey Thorne. If I'd have been the CEO at DC, he'd have just got that phone call. But don't even come in today, bro. Just
That's messed up.
that book, man, look, I'm gonna tell you something.
Tamiko disagrees with you.
The Tamiko, the Green Lantern was good for a few issues, but then it got to 10 and it just like it went off the rails. It went
and when
off
it got to the
rails.
final issue and uplifted my man and put him in a place under the green light,
he had to do something. He had to it's like bruh. I'm gonna tell you, he got the phone call said, hey, Jeff, how you doing, man? Bruh, if John Stewart is gonna see the light of day, you're gonna need to do something a little better with.
He made him the Emerald Knight. He gave him an entirely new persona.
Yes,
upped his power levels by 100.
Yes. But let me ask you a question. Do you think now there's going to be a John Stewart book, Emerald Knight book? Do you think they're going to keep him there? That's the question. And the reason why I say that is because
you mean keep him as Emerald Knight?
Yes, because people that are quote unquote John Stewart fans were not necessarily a fan of this run. Okay, I'm just getting at that they may go back to because they killed him in Dark Crisis, like they killed the rest of the Justice League. All of them quote unquote coming back, but from what I understand, Justice League is going to be different this go around. Matter of fact, they might not even be a Justice League book, or at least the Justice League that we know in terms of the Trinity and a few of the other original members. Point is that with John Stewart having that upgrade to almost godlike level, okay, are they going to be able to write for him? Because you and I know when it comes to all-powerful superhero beings, especially all-powerful black superhero beings, i.e. Blue Marvel, we see how many books we get with Blue Marvel in. They relegate him to working on a team. They relegate him to like popping up in a book that nobody reads. Shout out to those who bought that Dr. Doom run that Christopher Cantwell trash. Got my man sucker punched by Silver Sable. I ain't buying that. But anyway, that's what happens. So when it comes to this character, are they going to keep him at that level? That's the question.
Nothing's ever forever in comics.
This is true. Now, shout out to N.K. Jemisin. Shout out to the Queen. I like N.K. Jemisin. I loved her Far Sector run. She's a fantastic science fiction writer. She's dope. I would like her to see her write the next run of Far Sector because Joe Mullen, I don't even know if Joe Mullen is even in the book now.
Yeah, Joe Mullen needs to be in another book. She really
So,
does.
you know, and I will say this, and Jeffrey Thorne didn't write this book, but Cruz, what's the first name?
Cruz.
The sister that wound up becoming a Yellow Lantern.
Oh, Jessica Cruz.
Jessica Cruz. Jessica Cruz on the download was the hero in that Green Lantern run.
Yeah.
Then she switched, and then they pulled out
that annual issue was instant classic.
Yeah, they put that annual out. So here's the thing, guys: if you like DC books, or if you don't know about a good DC book, go get the Green Lantern annual with Jessica Cruz as a Yellow Lantern. That was
really well written too.
Amazing book.
Yeah,
amazing book, well written. And so again, we'll see what happens. But you know, I mean, they talking about doing a movie or a series with him on HBO Max. So I know he's not going to be at God level on HBO Max. So, but we'll see what they do.
I appreciate the love, bro. Hit
This
the
is, I
like
think,
button, y'all. Hit subscribe to the YouTube channel. Helps us keep
frustrated.
doing what we're doing.
Yeah,
And
frustrated fan sports show says I think they should focus on him being the new leader of IO and him being the source of the Green Lantern light.
yeah,
Yeah,
I think that might be the storyline for Emerald Knight. We'll see.
yeah. Boy, that's gonna piss off a lot of white boys.
Oh yeah. Where's my Hal Jordan? This is not what I grew up with.
Give me Kyle Rayner. Where's
This is
Kyle?
woke comics. I'm tired of the woke comics.
Speaking of woke.
Oh, here we go. I shouldn't have said that. I just triggered Rich. I'm sorry, y'all, for what's about to happen. Where's my disclaimer?
Yeah. For you guys in the chat.
Hold on. Before you get started.
Yeah.
I already know what's gonna happen. I already know what's gonna happen.
So, for those of you that talk about woke books or woke material or the word woke. Woke is the most abused and misused word out today. It has been appropriated by white fanboys to basically criticize anything that is not straight and white.
That's not them.
So I have come up with a couple of acronyms or acrostics for woke. My first one is woke.
Oh Lord, hold on. I think that demanded a double disclaimer.
Okay, woke. Whites observe, kill entertainment.
Oh, good Lord.
That's what it means. Whites observe. The thought is kill entertainment. If they're not the ones being watched, if they have to do the watching, they kill it. They don't understand it. They don't want it. They just don't. They can't relate to it. It is what it is. Another one.
There's another one.
I can do this all day. Just like you talk about John Ridley.
We're gonna get sued for this.
Whites only, kill everyone else.
Tamiko appreciates that one. Lord.
Oh boy, I will stop. I will stop. We go do some skits, maybe. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna piss off a few of the white boys out there. But listen, when it comes to this stuff about woke, it is ridiculous. And the reason why I bring this up is because there have been a couple of videos that have been circulating on YouTube saying that, number one, that the Black Panther movie that just came out is woke. And that it go woke, go broke. Okay, this is the movie that has made $500 million already. Okay, it's only been out 2 weeks and it's already $500 million. So what do they mean by go woke, go broke? Please, y'all need to stop that. Clearly, there's an agenda attached to what you do. Even if you think that Marvel is running an agenda, whatever, numbers are numbers. And for a movie that has only been out 2 weeks and has already made $500 million, y'all need to shut up with that. Going on with that, you know what I'm saying?
Well, what does that even mean that they have an agenda? What's the agenda? That's the question. What's the agenda?
Well, the agenda is to remove them. But
when you ask these fanboys, what's the agenda that you're referring to? Well, putting black people here and putting women in there and putting the gay people in there, and then having this anti-white male image. I don't need to see all that. My daddy didn't have it. I don't have it. Worked out so far. I mean, it's just
and like I say, I've said this on our show. You know what I'm saying? It's like, well, if you asking me, or you asking where's Hal Jordan, I'm like, he's in your long boxes. You got 30, 40 years of him in your long boxes. Okay, I can't even fill up half a short box with John Stewart books. So, miss me with that. I think that,
Rico
the
says Marvel and Disney do have an agenda.
they
I
do.
agree.
They do.
The
I agree.
agenda is we want to make money,
Yeah.
and
And
we need to get
100%.
money from all the
They have
avenues possible.
they have an agenda. But because they have an agenda, you can't lump everything in the agenda when it comes to especially black art. There are people that say Miles Morales is woke trash. There are people out there till this day that have said that Miles Morales, who's been around for over 10 years now, is woke trash. They don't want a Spider-Man that happens to be black and Latino because all they see is Peter Parker. They just did a movie and had 3 Spider-Mans, all of them white. You don't think that was an agenda? And your most popular Spider-Man is nowhere to be found? One that has a video game, one that has a hardcore cult following, but he's nowhere to be seen. I mean, it is what it is. They don't like the fact that he's a better Spider-Man. Absolutely.
Miles Morales is definitely
Absolutely.
better Spider-Man.
If
What happens? What happens with the
Sony,
license? What happens with the licensed property if you don't use it?
I don't know.
You
But what
lose.
I
You
do
eventually
know is
lose
this.
the license, right? So Sony
Of course.
has these movies they made, and each movie has different villains in it, right? If you don't use those villains after a certain period of time, what happens to the rights to using those characters? Wait, I know. Why don't we put all of our Sony property Spider-Man into one film and
Mm.
use all the villains from all those films, and we can save all these properties in one shot? Yes,
Yeah.
everything does have an agenda. And ultimately the agenda is to make money. Although I agree. I mean, Rico's right. There are social agendas that sometimes creep their way into these properties. That's inescapable. There it is. Anyone who's said
Of
otherwise
course.
is
I
being
think though
intellectually dishonest. But
but here's the
the
thing about
problem I have is lumping it into some big conspiracy theory of overall agenda pushing a particular thing. And what Rich is mentioning is the concept of being woke or having a woke agenda is just like this catch-all phrase that at this point it is the euphemism catch-all phrase being used to promote white supremacy.
yeah.
And you know, it's being overly used to describe anything that's not white male Protestant heterosexual. It is.
Yeah.
And that's the danger. That's the danger. It's one thing. I mean, if your social agenda may be as benign as, you know what, we've had about 70 years of comic books and comic book characters and movies and television, and just about everyone, it's kind of focused mostly with white males. Maybe if we stuck some other people that buy these comic books, and Rich can go over the stats on who those people are,
Mm.
um, we might be able to make some more bread, as emphasized by this Black Panther movie that came out and made over $1 billion. Wow, Black people do support this stuff. Maybe it would be a good idea to throw some more colors on the screen and on the
Mm.
pages. And that's where this all comes from.
And
I
here's the
mean,
thing
it's
too.
nice to think that it's all benevolent and stuff, but
And here's the
ultimately,
thing.
you make more money that way. Racism costs money.
Yeah, it does. Here's the thing too, Paul. You brought up a little while ago Tyler Perry. People in Hollywood were saying that Tyler Perry movies
Facts, Dion.
or don't sell. That no one wants to see that. And yet here's a guy who started off on the Chitlin circuit with plays or whatever and built an empire and wound up building his own studio because he got tired of having to explain his his audience and who he was marketing to. So because we are collectors and we buy Marvel and DC, and we will buy independent stuff from time to time. I think that what we fail to realize is that everybody everybody
Rico
has a
says you
right.
like being angry.
I don't even necessarily. I don't. I'm not mad at all. I just think that it's bizarre to me to scream woke this, woke that, woke this, woke that, when one of the oldest properties, Captain America, was a propaganda tool for the war. Politics, or we don't want politics in our comic books. Okay, then you need to get rid of every Captain America book on the shelf.
I'm not.
Don't do that.
Tamiko says Rico's right. I guess we must like being angry.
I mean, I'll put it like this.
What
It
is
does
that?
not
You
bother
can't
me.
you can't be a black who's conscious and live in and you by being black and conscious you live in a perpetual state of rage.
Yes.
So
We
I
can't
guess I'm
win.
angry.
I mean, the truth is we can't win. I mean, here's the thing: you either have to compromise certain things, or you have to, close your eyes to certain things. It is what it is. You can't have, okay. If I decide, okay, I'm gonna just not buy any Marvel or DC books, and I'm gonna just buy independent. I talked about that at one time, right? And I found myself like, you know what? There's just not enough material, and it's not enough good stuff.
I
So
like Dion's idea. Look what Dion wrote.
angry comic book fan, the YouTube series we need. Yeah. Well, I mean, all you gotta do
That
is just,
sounds like a rich blog.
no, that's not me. That's not me, bro. Listen, I don't listen. Eric July, that's who that is. If we want to keep it a stat about it being angry, I, you know, I've never felt like, okay, that everything that Marvel is doing is trash. Everything, you know, I I spend my money week after week going to the comic shop because I want to read good stories. Okay, that's my whole modus operandi. I don't want to read everything because everything's not for me. But the stuff that's for me, I want that. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, look, I like Captain America, but I'm not reading every Captain America book. Now, I will read Captain America Sam Wilson. Because why? Sam Wilson is a brother. I'm like Issa Rae. I'm voting for everybody black. Some of y'all don't, y'all say, you want to hang out with the white folk? Go ahead. I read white books too. But I know that black comic lords, Paul, can we just keep it real? We are.
Apparently, we always keep it real because Rico says we angry all the time. More angry than Rip.
Y'all angry, more angry than Rip. That's funny. Rico being a troll tonight. Why you doing that, bro? We are not angry. We are just we at times have heated fellowship.
I like that heated fellowship.
Again, I know it's just comics, but some of this stuff is just crazy to me. It's just crazy to me. And again, I do this for fun. This is my outlet. This is my hobby. I don't go play golf. I don't, all I do is read comic books and regular books and study. That's all I do. I am a nerd through and through. That's all I am. And I don't apologize for it. So for me, it's like I don't have an agenda. I don't at people and ask them why their book is trash. I don't even follow artists like that. I've told you this, Paul. I don't follow artists because I don't want to be tempted to say something crazy. I can say crazy stuff here in the confines of my group and my tribe, because I know that ain't nobody gonna really challenge me at it or whatever like that. Because again, I'm in the echo chamber. This. Listen, if you don't think that there are more guys that think like me that don't, I wouldn't be here.
That's why I don't troll artists. I troll companies.
You know, I mean, listen, I have this love-hate relationship with Mark. Some of the stuff they do, I love. Some of the stuff they do, I hate. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not gonna lose my mind over it. You know, I mean, I don't want my wife to
You just angry because DC can't get their stuff together.
well, you know, I do listen, I just need a Black Lightning book. DC, bro, can Jefferson Pierce get some love? You know, I mean, you know what I'm saying? He's only one of your oldest black characters. One has an upgrade power set. You're getting John Stewart a book. You're finally doing right by John Stewart. Can we do right by Jefferson Pierce? Why is everybody black man with a letter J can't get no love? Johnny and Jeff. Can Johnny and Jeff get some love? I'm just saying. I'm just listening. Do my mama gotta be? Do her name have to be Martha? You know, for me to get some respect.
See, in the chat, they're talking about China's racism against the Black Panther film. Derek points out that Black Panther 1 made over $100 million in China. It's interesting. They had actually had problems in China with the original, or I shouldn't say that. Marvel was hesitant to put the Black Panther movie poster out in China because it had nothing but a whole bunch of black faces on it. Mm-hmm. And they toyed with the idea, and they may have done it. I don't remember if they actually did it, of only doing the poster where Chadwick Boseman had his mask on, and you didn't have all the other characters in the background. So because that was the poster that would do better in China, they may have done that. Like they did not want to have black faces on the posters in China. I mean, that's well documented. But they still made $100 million.
Listen, China is China. People fail to realize the Chinese have given us great martial arts and their contributions in regards to art itself is incredible. However, they got problems, and to ignore the racism, all you got to do is go back and go ask some of them when the pandemic hit China hard like it did. Go talk to some of those African students that were living in China at the time, and let them tell you how they treated them, not allowing them to go places to shop.
Oh, now you're getting too deep on them.
Oh, see now, nobody wants, bruh, y'all, yeah, you right. You know what, Rico, you sure is right. I am angry than Ripple.
Here we go. Rico just had to keep poking the bear. Just had to keep poking the bear.
You know,
Lord.
Between Jesus and my therapist, you know, y'all keep me on my knees in this space. No, but
Jesus and my therapist. That sounds like it should be on a t-shirt.
Hey, bro. Hey, Black Comedy Lords right here. No, but I just know that when it comes to China, that there is a big market, but they weren't exactly wild about Shang-Chi. So they got a problem with the East, with the West all together. They want our money. They want us to buy their goods. Yeah. But do they got love for us? Oh no.
Yeah, Lords of Brooklyn points out John Boyega was virtually removed from the Star Wars posters in China, which is true.
Yeah.
He wasn't virtually removed. Yeah, he was definitely removed.
Yeah. And you know what? Star Wars said, you know what? We just gonna remove you from the whole franchise altogether. That's another story. See, Rico messing with me. Y'all gonna really make me mad. I'm gonna have to go. I ain't trying to go to. I'm not trying to have Thanksgiving dinner tomorrow, Rico. Mad. I don't want to be, you know, fuming at my potato salad. Okay, I'm having ribs tomorrow. I ain't having turkey. Okay.
Well, I mean, that's an interesting question. I mean, Derek asked an interesting question. So he says, "So Lords of Brooklyn, what does Disney do? Go anti-woke to get more Chinese market share?" I mean, here's the thing. Ultimately, it's a business, right? You make these movies to make money.
Yep.
For the artists that are involved, it's about creating art, and in some instances, to share a message. So let's take Black Panther as an example. Do you change the poster so that you can get at that Chinese market? I mean, you want access to those billion people, right? That will allow you to make more money that way. But on the flip side of it, to play devil's advocate, if your idea is to break down, if you have your agenda, as you guys have been talking about, your social agenda, if your social agenda back in 2018 when they're doing Black Panther, if your social agenda is to show China a movie with a black superhero lead, with all black superhero characters in the background, supporting characters, and putting a positive spin on black people, and you get them to watch that movie, you change the poster. You put Chadwick's face behind a mask so they're not offended by seeing a black face, but they spend their $15 or whatever that it converts to in yen, and they go see the movie, and they see those images, and they see that story, and they see the positiveness of what black people can do with a black director and a black lead and a black producer and a black cast and black creators like Ruth Carter in the background. You see what is capable. Perhaps that changes perceptions. Perhaps that opens the door. How else are you going to convert a billion people unless you show them a different way? And if you've got to change a movie poster to do that, perhaps that's something that's a little bit of a compromise to ultimately reach your goal if you have a social agenda.
Me personally, I don't feel like the Chinese market is a huge market, but it's one of those things where we didn't make this art for them in the first place.
Yeah.
So that at the end of the day, we have to have a FUBU mindset, for us, by us, in terms of like, okay, well, if they don't want to rock with it, then that's fine. Then we don't worry about the market. I think that, what I'm saying, in certain cases it might make sense, quote unquote. But see, we talk about comics. There's a reason why a lot of superheroes wore masks in certain comic books in the 70s. In a lot of these books. Let's see, Blue Marvel, when he first came on the scene, the whole, he wore a mask, right? They didn't know. They were fine when he was fighting for the U.S. and fighting the anti-man, I think is what his name is, until they found out he was a black man. They wanted him to retire because for whatever reason they got a problem with black faces. It is what it is. I think that he says, isn't that selling out? It is selling out. I mean, I think that's the point.
I mean, is it? I always hesitate when I hear that term selling out.
It's selling. It's only selling out if you feel like you're going to compromise your values. Now, if me hiding behind a mask or me, changing things up, I wish we had Robert on here, Robert Ford, because he finds this when he collects those international books.
Yeah.
We've seen pictures of black characters with white faces, and that because they can't sell them in certain in certain countries, they just can't or they just won't. And so it's like, okay, well, Marvel goes to certain countries, and then we'll put this book out, or we're going to just put a white face on it, or we're just not going to put the character's face on the cover. That
I
happened
mean,
it happened in Lobo. It happened in Lobo. White
I
people
mean,
saw it on the show.
Derek's take on this is good. Listen, look what he put.
It's both
It's
selling
both
out and
selling
hoping
out
for
and hoping for a Trojan horse effect. I mean, it's selling out if you kowtow to that racism and that ignorance and leave it at that. But if you're doing it to reach an ultimate goal, if you're playing the long game of, yeah, we'll change the poster, you're still going to buy the ticket and you're still going to watch this movie and you're still going to be slapped with this message once the lights go down and the cameras turn on. That's not selling out. That's being smart and tactical. Because ultimately, if your goal is to get them to buy the ticket and watch the movie and see those images on the screen and learn that, hey, you know, black people aren't ignorant and bad and stupid and whatever else, what other ignorant things that are going through your mind as to who they are, it gives you that opportunity. I don't think that's selling out. I think that's being smart.
Yeah. I mean, it's. I mean, I'll be honest. It's you really you can't win. You just have to decide what side of the fence you're going to be on, and once you decide that, live with the
That's a good point.
consequences or
Dion
live with
says
the.
China keeps most of the profit anyway.
Of course. I mean, I think it was Umar Johnson that said this about China. China
Are you about
is
to
the
quote
white.
Umar Johnson?
Yeah, I'm about to
Where's
quote
Herschel?
Umar
Where's
Johnson.
Herschel at?
Umar Johnson, he said this on the Breakfast Club. He said that China was the white men of the East. And there's some truth to that because, they want to, quote unquote, protect their people from certain influence. We are one of those influential beings. I mean, let's just be honest. Black people, we create, we set trends, people follow us, good, bad, or indifferent, or whatever, it doesn't matter. Um, I mean, hip hop is literally um, it's the stuff of pop culture now. Back in the 80s, in the early 80s and late 70s, it was a fad. But now it's fueling commercials, it's fueling movies, it's fueling language. It's Aquafina was accused of being what's the word? Um, she was using
Appropriating
black
black culture.
vernacular. Yeah, appropriating black culture in Shang-Chi. People were trying to check her behind that. I mean, it is what it is. You can't win. It's like until black people get their own things and are ready to 100% own and support those own things. He says, I hear you, brother. Black folks they do need to support black projects. I agree, but see, here's the thing about that, and I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm actually agreeing with you back up. I think that the problem is, since we're talking about comics and things of that nature, shout out to all of you creators that do projects and make a living at this. This is hard. This is not an easy form. And as a comic head, I wish I could just go to my shop and find 10 books written by 10 black artists, owned by 10 black companies. But I can't. I have to go on Facebook. I have to join a Facebook group. And then I have to support a Kickstarter. Take 45 days to get one issue. These are the hoops that we're jumping through. Now, shout out to my man Dion. Dion has a he just put out a web series. Matter of fact, Dion, I'm gonna plug you real quick. if you don't mind, if you're still here, put the name of your comic web, uh, this new book that you got out. It's
Put the
based on
link in the
chemistry.
chat, Dion. Put the link
Yeah,
in the
please
chat.
put the link in the chat. I don't want to mess it all up. I need you to plug it. But he put out like, I want to say 2 or 3 pages of this book. It was amazing. It was good. And so we have talent. The talent is here. The talent is right there, but it's about having the money, the resources, and the wherewithal to get it in the hands. Now, me myself, I'm a floppy guy. I want my book in my hand. But a lot of these guys, they can't do that. They have to publish their stuff. They have to publish their stuff like electronically. And I don't too much care for digital stuff, but it's a part of the norm now. People read comic books digitally. You know, I like long boxes. I like bagging and board books. You know what I'm saying? And it's little things. If we could get over those humps, because you got comic book companies like Godhood Comics. You got
Derek points
companies
out
like
something that's going on right now. If you're
yeah,
unfamiliar, there is a Kickstarter going on right now. It is a horror anthology called Shook, and it's monumental and historical in its creation. It's got a talented 10th list of writers and creators, black writers and creators. What's the list, man? It's Rodney Barnes, John
Kevin Greavy,
Jennings. What'd you
Kevin
say?
Greavy, Kevin Greavy.
Kevin Greavy, David Walker, um, just a host of black creatives that are doing this horror anthology series, and they've got a Kickstarter. So um, just check out our page. You can Google it, Shook, the horror anthology. They're very close. They need some more supporters to make this thing happen. A project like this has never been done on this level before. And for all of you who make these comments about, well, we need to support our own, support our black creators. We need to support black comics. Put your money up. Don't talk about it. Be about it. Because I already put my money in. I already supported that. So
They're and and we could talk to that point till like nauseum. And we acknowledge, companies like Concrete Comics, Black Sands. Somebody brought up the Black Sands app. There
Derek
is a
just put the link in the chat, by the way. So
okay.
all y'all
Shout
talking
out
about
to
it, go ahead and click on it and support the Shook book.
you. So, you know, we have to fund projects like this, whatever, to kind of like get us in the position. Because here's the thing. Rico said something earlier. I didn't miss your comment, Rico. We were talking about Black Lightning. He said that DC should just give Black Lightning to Image. I wish they would.
That would be a good move.
I wish they
Image
would.
makes so many good books.
I wish they would. I wish they would. Then I would give it. Then I would give it to Rodney Barnes or Chuck Brown to write. Here's the thing. The problem that we have, or the issue that we have, it's a mountain. It's not. I'm not going to sit here and act like it's easy, and we can do this stuff overnight. It can't. It starts with the movement. We're starting to get artists and creatives that are coming together, like this situation with. Yes, there it is. Children of Assad. Thank you, sir. Thank you for
Yeah, Dion,
linking
put
that.
the link to
That
your
was good.
book in the chat if you haven't done
That
so
that
already.
was that was that was man. That was a dope read. I definitely enjoyed that. We need stuff like that. Stuff that you can get on the Black Sands app, is credible too. I don't want to forget those guys as well. You know, my thing is, I want books in my hands. That's the thing. I want books in my hands. It's okay to get it on a computer and things. And that's just a personal preference. And I have to get out of my feelings about that and try to still support, even if I have to get it digitally. Because I can't tell you guys that I need that you should do this if I'm not doing it myself. I'm always challenged on that level. Because guess what? I don't want to just talk about Black Panther. I want to talk about. I wish we had somebody like right now, the Bitterroot uh, movie adaptation. No one's talking about it because nobody even knows if it's still happening. I know Regina King just lost her son recently,
Yeah, that's
and
what's
no
stalling.
one's talking about because that movie has been or that project has been greenlit. So you know, strike it when the iron is hot. And then when you have books like say Excellence, that was fire for the first 10 issues, and then we had COVID, and then it just kind of limped its way to the finish line, and then they had to do a Kickstarter. You know, it's almost one of those things where when our creators have to when they put books in the store, right, and then they come back and then they have to do a Kickstarter. I wonder if that's an indictment on us. Because at the end of the day, like you said, Paul, this is a business. And if you're not making money, then you have to crowdfund. He said you can hold a tablet in your hand. I know that, bro, but you guys like messing with me, man. I I know I can hold a tablet in my hand. I just want a book in my hand too. You know, listen, I mean, it's hard. It's hard letting these go. I'm just being honest with you. So but I want to see our dudes win. I really do, man. I want to see these guys win. I don't like just talking Marvel and DC. I don't. You know what I'm saying? But it seems like sometimes they're the only game in town. And then when we get books, like from Image, for example, or whatever, um, it's like, okay, we get it for a hot minute, we talk about it, and then it's gone. Like, we need consistency. That's the only way this thing is going to
That's the
really
key.
work
That's the
for us.
key. That's why Marvel and DC does so well. Is ultimately it's a two-part thing. They put their books in LCSs, right? That's the first part, and that's where a lot of independent artists fall short is they don't get the books in the stores. The second thing is consistency, um, especially in this age, our information age, our social media age, our microwave everything age. You only get the attention span of people for so long, and when your competition is a company that puts out a book literally every month or more. I mean, when they have Amazing Spider-Man in the summer, that book's like every other week. When that's your competition and you can't sit there and wait to put out a book only once every quarter, people will forget about you and move on to something else.
Yep.
Consistency is key.
And I will say this too: comic books are getting killed by manga, and part of it, some people believe, is that they just tell the stories and they keep the woke stuff out of the books, and there may be some truth to that. Because here's the thing, you know, um, there was some comic. I'm not going to name names, but we've had comic books come out, right, where you can kind of tell. And matter of fact, I heard this on Dion's podcast. We've gotten great value Avengers, and it's like, okay, can we think of something original? Can we do something different? You know what I'm saying? Are we so locked into this archetype or this certain view that we can't create something outside of that realm or whatever? Um,
I don't think the answer to that is yes, because here's the thing. We have a proliferation of independent artists, independent companies. And you got your
we do.
Boom, you got your Scout, you got Vault Comics, you got Aftershock Comics. All these comic book companies are blowing up, and they're making some of the hottest comics on the shelves right now. But with those particular companies I just mentioned, what you have is consistency. They're in the stores. They're in the stores. and those books come out for the most part, mostly consistent. And so for our Black creators, I would suggest the same thing. Just get the books in the stores and get them out consistently. Um,
If you can.
not everyone's
That's
going to go on social media or on websites to go buy a book. I mean, some people, they just like their old school. They just want to go to the store and peruse the shelves and pick up what they see. Put some Black faces on the cover and get your sales that way.
now I will say this, and this is not for just. I mean, we talking comics or whatever, but I just see a need for more story writing than anything.
I don't know the answer to that, frustrated fan. I don't know.
Um, and you know, it's like I if a guy has a comic book that he wants to do, right, and he's got an artist and he's got this, that, the other, you know, to put this together, because you need art, you need a good story to draw people in, and particularly with one issue, you only have that person's attention for a few minutes. 22-page book or whatever, you know what I'm saying? You may have 15, 16 pages of material and words that you can to develop a story. But you can't, most people can't tell a story in one issue. So it's like, okay, if we can get more good one shots, I'll take that. There was a one shot called Sunshine by Advent Comics.
Yeah, I
It
have
was a
that.
one shot. And that was amazing. And but everybody can't do that. Now my man brings up Vanille Young. Shout out to Delta Dogs. And you know, I mean, he's to be commended for just sticking at it that long, man. That is insane. But I'm
Well,
praying that at some
Austin made
point,
this comment. I hate the fact that passionate writers and creators are called independent contractors and they don't own none of these work they put their blood, sweat, and tears into. It's not right. I agree, but I think there's a lot more companies now that sort of focus more on just independent companies that focus more on just publishing your book for you, but you still retain the ownership rights and the
yeah,
royalty
images
rights
like
on
that.
these books in perpetuity.
Images like
Huh?
I say images like that. Image does that for
Right,
sure.
right. I mean, and I think a lot of other independent, that's why you see this proliferation of independent companies now. The ones I just mentioned, because I don't think that's an excuse anymore. Like I can't do if I go to a comic book company, a publisher, and try to put out my book, they're going to control what I do, and they're going to keep all the money. I don't necessarily know that's true anymore. I really don't. I don't think that's how these deals work.
All I know is that if you got a fire project, you know, make it a point to get it to me. Because
Yeah.
if it's good, I'm gonna talk about it. That's
But
the thing.
here's what Dion says on that. We're seeing that the story isn't as important as marketing and social media persona behind the comic. That's a good point. I mean,
You
there's
know,
look at how many books have come out where it was just a social media push. Look at Keanu
um,
Reeves' book Berserker. Not a bad book, but it oversell the quality of the book because of the social media push behind it and the fact that a celebrity was attached to it.
well, I mean, I don't know if he's talking about Ripper, but I see that with Ripper. Ripper never had a book out and sold 4 million books. It's hard to argue with that. You know what I'm saying? It's like, okay, and I tell people the only thing I can say or justify what he's been able to do is he's had his YouTube channel, I want to say for 10 years, and he's built a platform and he built this. And here's the thing: it's kind of like what's going on in hip hop in terms of skill level. You don't really need the skill level that you used to need to make money in the business. Now you need a social media following. You got a good social media following or whatever. You know what I'm saying? You can get around your talent you can hide the fact that you don't have as much talent behind the number of followers you may have. Um, it's a tricky thing. Frustrated says, look at Black Sands. Um, Black Sands is. I'll be honest. I think that's lightning in a bottle. He's definitely not the norm, and he's been able to get some help, which is good. We're going to get some good project. We're going to probably get some good projects out of the Black Sands Shark Tank deal. So I have some of his books, and I like Manuel Godet. I don't like everything he says or everything he does, but I do cut for that dude.
Rico says
Rico says
Ripper actually spent over $200,000 of his own money.
Yeah, I mean
it's a good read too. So Rico's read the book.
Yeah,
I didn't know Rico bought any new books.
Rico don't tell nobody what he does. Rico just show up. Rico just show up with news. That's all. He's not gonna tell us what he does. Rico's a bad boy. Bad boys move in silence.
That's true.
He says,
Dion, we should have an eagle eye on Show Them in the Gods coming to Kevin. Absolutely. I'm curious about that.
I'm hoping they've been talking about it for a minute. I'm hoping to see it soon. Because that's the thing, we live in this world where it's what have you done for me lately? Kevin Greevy is one of my favorite writers. He created Blue Marvel. He wrote on the New Warriors book. You know that book, Paul.
The Warriors is one of my favorite team books of all time.
That dude is a dope creator because I loved his Underworld universe.
Yeah,
Underworld universe was incredible. I mean, Ripper. Dion says he got to give credit to Ripper. He told everyone to get an audience or bow down. Yeah, he did his thing. He did his thing. I mean, people are going to hate on it or whatever, but we can't do nothing. But really, at the end of the day, all you can do is respect. All you can do is respect, because you can't say, okay, well, I want black comic books. I want black characters. I want original black characters. What did he do? He made an original black character.
Yeah, he used his platform on YouTube to develop a following, to promote his book, ask for money to put the book out, and he did his thing. Can't fault him for that.
Yeah, well, shout out to Marvel and DC for being whack. That's the reason why he did it. He says,
Rico says I support all black projects. He's Issa Rae. I even bought Jay's and Willie's Ebon action figure. How many of y'all supported it? We got to do better.
Huh. I want a Funko Pop, Rico. Does that count? I don't want an action figure. I want a Funko Pop.
Yeah,
I'm about a Funko Pop. I know. What was it? Otis said they're doing Funko Pops. When they do the Funko Pop, I'm definitely going to get the Funko Pop because I don't.
Waiting on the Funko. I got a space right there for it. Waiting on the Funko Pop.
He said, "Nope, they're not doing it." What you mean? Nope. I heard they were doing it. They're not doing
the Funko Pop anymore. Oh, that's disturbing.
That's not good. That's not good.
That's a big disappointment, man.
I thought they were. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Because they did. I mean, not Rico. Otis had the 3 that he did for the exhibit.
Right.
So I was thinking that they were going to do. He says, "I don't know. I was answering something else." Okay. All right. Cool. He wasn't talking about that. Thanks, Rico, for that.
Causing a panic. You're causing a panic, Rico.
And to your point, Rico, we do have to do better. But I will say this as well, and this is for the whole comic book fan. We have to communicate better, because I think that's one of the things that we sometimes, certain things falls through the cracks. Certain relationships are not as sharp as they should be or could be, and we don't necessarily use our buffers or our I would say our antennas in a sense. It's one of those things where if you got something going on and I can promote it, then I'm gonna help you. But at the same time, that has to be reciprocated. You know what I'm saying? I've spent bread with Jay. Jay knows that. You know what I'm saying? But there's communication and there's issues, you know what I'm saying? And sometimes that can hinder certain things from being better or being what it could be. You know, that's which is why I stay neutral. You know, I'm a Pan African, but I fly the Switzerland flag. You got drama? I don't want to hear about it. You got drama? I don't want to hear about it. But I'm doing a show next week.
Hey,
So it
thank
says,
you, Tiana. Appreciate it, man.
yeah,
Says
you know,
thank you
I
for
mean, you know,
yourself make a
I'm
platform.
having,
That's coming.
yeah, I mean, you know, we have fun doing what we do, and at the end of the day, I want to see us all eat. You know what I mean? I really do. I really want to see this community flourish and because the thing is, we didn't always have this, or we didn't always have these platforms or these mediums to use or whatever. And so it at times it's disheartening, you know. But you know, we have to challenge ourselves and challenge each other to be better, and at the same time, um, also communicate. The lines of communication have to be open on all
It's
ends.
it's funny, you know. People say, "Well, how come you don't buy this, or how come you didn't support this and buy this?" And it's like, wow. I
We
mean,
do.
first of all, we do, but beyond that, um, how come you don't subscribe to the channel? How come you don't like the video? You know, how come you don't buy merch from our store to help support what we're doing? You know, and most of the things that we ask for don't even cost money. But
You know, it is what it is. I mean, that's as they say. That's par for the course. Um, if I had to get paid to do this, then you guys wouldn't see my face. If I
right,
wanted to get paid or whatever, and I just you wouldn't see my face. And you know, you don't have to pay me to do this. But if I'm incurring expenses, if I'm you know, spending money to try to do or produce product that's acceptable and that's going to be looked at, you know, down the road or possibly used in a documentary or a movie or whatever the case may be. You know, we're trying to do our best, and sometimes our best need help. You know, but we don't ask enough. I feel like we should ask more, but at the same time, it's funny. You know, it's like the guy that cuts his yard in the neighbor's yard, and the neighbor sees him cut the yard all the time, and the neighbor is grateful and thankful, but he never thinks to chuck the guy a few dollars or put some gas in the lawnmower or whatever. It is what it is, you know. So, you know, I see that there's a go back.
Rico says, I'm subscribed and like the channel's content. Don't be petty. I wasn't directing it towards you, Rico. I'm talking in
Go back
general.
to
We've been talking this
go
entire
back.
live about getting more subscribers up and likes up. Everyone
Go
says,
back to Louisiana. Go back to Louisiana kids comment. That I see that there's a Mr. Rick picture floating around. I think James gonna put it up. Thoughts? Who would you cast? First of all, I would look forward to that uh, tremendously. But the who would I cast?
Sterling K.
That
Brown. There's a lot of brothers that could do it. Um,
what would you do about the teeth?
about what?
The teeth. The T on his face.
Put a T on his
The,
face.
well, you funny.
I don't understand the question.
Mr. Terrific with the T on his face, bro.
I know he has a T on his face. That's his mask. It's nanites.
Oh, is that what it is? So
Yeah,
you think that
nanites.
how would that look on screen?
You saw it. You saw it in Green Arrow and the Arrow show with the Curtis Holt
I
character.
didn't watch. I didn't
Oh, you
watch.
never watched Arrow?
No, I
Oh yeah,
don't.
it looked fine. It looked fine.
The WB
Yeah.
that you talk about. Now that's the
Now it was
network
a
of
watered down
Whoa.
shadow of an image of Mr. Terrific, but visually they got the costume. It looks exactly like what you see in the comics, and they got
Yeah.
the mask on.
Okay.
It'll work.
Okay. Well, Sterling K. Brown is kind of dark. You might not
Well,
be able to
here's
see
the
it.
thing. What makes Mr. Terrific dope, and the announcement is kind of well timed. You have in the same week that Marvel kills off its preeminent super smart black superhero. Within days, James Gunn does a tweet alluding to the fact that DC is going to make its preeminent super smart black hero and put him up. I mean, if that's not trolling, I don't know what's up.
Of course, that was trolling. That was a whole lot of trolling in that area.
Smart move by James Gunn. I like the feistiness.
Well, I will say this: I got to see it before I believe it.
Yeah, true. It's
You
one
know,
thing to put up a tweet; it's another thing to invest $250 million.
yeah, exactly. In that movie, how you gonna put it out? Because again, the whole thing is, especially with black superheroes, you have to tether them most times to the Trinity. And
Right.
so, with him being, he was a member of the Justice League. Now we do have the Justice Society out with the Black Adam movie or whatever, so maybe you could tether them through that way.
Assuming we get a Black Adam too. If we do, then Mr. Terrific needs to be in.
Yeah. So I mean, look, James Gunn at the head of DC does not suck, but it's all about execution. And again, I want DC to really win, and I really want them to really, really go at Marvel. But until they get their stuff together, they're gonna always be Marvel's little brother. It is what it is, and you know, their animation is stellar. Marvel is still catching up, but they ain't far behind because that What If series was amazing.
Yeah, it was.
It was amazing, and we're getting a season 2 of that. So yeah, you can't rest on your laurels, DC. You gotta come to work, bro. But we'll see. We'll see what happens with it. So as far as now, he says, to be honest, do we really want James Gunn working on Mr. Griffin? Gunn's work can be extremely vulgar, insensitive, and excessive. I agree. I agree with that. I mean, Suicide Squad, anybody? That was pretty I mean, to me, that I think the boys on Prime, Amazon Prime, I think kind of helped institute that kind of stuff into comics or into the pop culture, so to speak. Um, Now the stuff that he did with the suicides, I mean with the what is it, the Guardians of the Galaxy, that was okay, wasn't it?
Guardians of the Galaxy was good.
Yeah.
Dion said Bloodsport was dope as hell. It's true.
Yeah. So, we'll see. I mean, all of this stuff is wait and see. And again, I don't know. I mean, it's. I wish I had the answers. I don't. I just know that DC needed something. They needed a Kevin Feige type. And I would never say that he's like Kevin Feige or whatever because they still got to execute this. You got the Trinity, you got all of these characters, and you got all this history, but you hadn't been able to pull it off.
Welcome,
You haven't been
Bloodsport.
able,
2 hours
you hadn't
late,
been able,
but you can catch us on the replay.
you hadn't been able to execute anything. You fell flat on your face with Batman versus Superman. Suicide Squad's been okay,
The
but
second Suicide Squad movie was good. I like that.
it was violent, man. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Now I don't have a good against violence or whatever, but that was pretty,
It was violent. I mean, come on, man.
I'm like, God dog, bro.
It's a
I mean,
superhero film. Of course, it's violent.
it was cringing sometime though, bro. Some of that stuff was
It's called Suicide Squad, not the Lollipop Club.
true. This is true. But I will say this, what I'm saying? I want comic book stuff to be fun, that, and I get Rico's point. Some stuff you just want it to be, I won't say campy, but at the same time, you don't want it to be just, you know. I'm curious what the Deadpool 3 is gonna be like, because we know Deadpool is, but he's gonna have Hugh Jackman in the movie.
How do you?
Hey.
They can push. Look, they did a Deadpool release, a PG-13 version of Deadpool. They did. Is it possible to keep pure to the thing without doing a rated R version?
Here's the thing, though, man. We talked about
can have a lot.
Yeah, of course, but we talked about
F-bombs.
We talked about Atlanta. We've been talking about Atlanta lately because the series just ended, right? You do remember that Donald Glover at one time was attached to Deadpool.
He was a what?
He was attached to Deadpool, an animated series. I think they were going to do.
Yes.
And it failed. The deal fell through. I don't know what happened, but he published, I guess, a script that he was going to do or whatever. I mean, could you imagine if that had went through, bro? How incredible that might have been.
Mm-hmm. I saw a clip of his Deadpool. It was dope. I think that's ultimately what led to the movie being made.
I'm just trying to figure out how they messed that up. How they messed that up.
Mike says Gunn has a lot of inside information too.
Yeah. Can he get a Black Lightning comic book made? That's all I care about.
You're not gonna get a Black Lightning anything, dude. They can't even get a comic book out there. Come on. You had a TV show.
Y'all want movies. Y'all want big screen productions. I just want a Black Lightning comic book. That's all I want.
They can't even put them in a team book in the background.
That's a doggone shame. That's a doggone shame.
Frustrated fan says Leslie Odom Jr. would be the best Miss Terrific. Is he tall enough though? He's kind of short, right?
I don't know. I mean, you know what? I say we just cast Michael Jai White. That's everybody wants to put Michael Jai White.
The answer for everything, huh? Jesus.
Oh, so Guns take his perk for this cancel culture environment. We'll see. He definitely is on the line for sure.
He will be cancel cultured and fired within 2 years.
Bruh. Like I said, I gotta see it first. I gotta see it. He said DC had the same writer still writing for Black Lightning since the 1970s. They did a writer for the character. I agree. For whatever reason, it hasn't been practical for them to give him a self-titled book, because Isabella was the last one to write on Black Lightning. Black Lightning has been on a lot of DC books, but nothing as far as his own title in years, decades.
Lords of Brooklyn says Peacemaker is the best show this year, hands down. I don't know about best show this year, but it was entertaining. I mean, don't sleep on Peacemaker. I enjoyed that show. That was an entertaining television show.
I watched one episode.
I don't care what anybody says.
I watched one episode. I was like, I just can't take this Bama with this helmet on his head. I just can't take this serious. I just can't take
it. It's the comedic element of it. It was a good show.
Yeah, of course. I just didn't. It just didn't grab me. So
I remember seeing a post, Dion saying they buried Cyborg and Ray Fish. I remember seeing a post about someone saying, well, what's the possibility of us getting a Cyborg movie at this point? I mean, I don't see it happening. I think Ray Fisher's kind of burned that bridge. and put a distasteful mouth in
Okay.
DC, even with James Gunn taking over. I just don't see them doing it. There's just too much baggage
Yeah.
with Ray Fisher on that. I mean,
Yeah.
they're certainly not, Ray Fisher's certainly not going to do it because he burned that bridge. But I don't see them wanting to deal with the heat of bringing that character back without Ray Fisher and just too much. There's too
Okay.
many other black characters out there for them to do anyway.
Jabari Muhammad says there was a Black Lightning comic a year or so ago. No, it wasn't. Black Lightning was in a comic book, but he was there wasn't out a black comic book. Trust me. This dude was dumb.
You're being petty, man. Look, that Outsiders book was a Black Lightning team book. He was the leader of the Outsiders under Batman.
I need the title to say Black Lightning. Period. In the discussion.
Didn't it say Black Lightning and the Outsiders? Wasn't that the title?
No, it was Batman and the Outsiders. Stop messing with me, man. Look, he says, I'm gonna need Black Lightning to mentor Static in a dope miniseries against a big villain. You know what? There was a Black Lightning Brave and Bold Static book.
Yeah.
And it should have been epic, but it was flat. And you don't get those moments. They fall far and few in between. That was a wasted opportunity. I am curious. We talked earlier about the Static and Batman Beyond book that's coming out. So I'm looking forward to that.
Rico said Peacemaker was trash. I disagree. I found it entertaining. It was a good popcorn show.
Yeah. Gunn is a horrible storyteller. If Marvel hadn't put the reins on the Guardian movies, would have been atrocious. Wow. You know what? The Guardian movies were, say what you want, at least the first one. I didn't too much care for the second one.
Yeah, the second one wasn't as good as the first one.
Yeah. So, but Rico makes a point.
Rico says Gunn is a horrible have more than okay. Yeah. So
yeah. Rico's not a fan of. Tell us how you really feel, Rico.
Damn, Rico, what do you like other than Blade? Put that in the chat, Rico. What's on your list?
Likes books. We're probably just not talking about the books that he liked. I know.
Yeah, his collection's crazy.
Phil was messing with him the other night when we were doing the show. He was talking about, I guess Rico loves Man Thing.
Oh, that's right.
I'm a Swamp Thing guy, not a Man Thing. I got a few Man Thing books. I don't really know a whole lot about the.
Rico says he likes the Black Comic Lords.
That's funny.
he's like try to troll me on that, Paul.
Wow.
Hey Rico, you want to answer a question for us? When can we do a Blade show with you on it? Will you come on if we do a Blade show?
We gotta get some Blade books or a Blade movie, man.
No, we don't have to have a Blade books or a Blade movie for Rico for us to do a Blade show and have Rico on there and bless us with his knowledge on Blade. He gave us a maybe. That's like huge from Rico. A maybe? I'm impressed.
Well, we'll see. We'll see how it goes. It gotta be something. To me, there are a lot of Blade books. I would like to talk about some of the old Marvel books, the old big oversized books. That would be cool to talk about. The Swamp Thing series was good.
Dion says, I'm sorry, y'all. I'm still not sold on Blade on print. You don't like Blade?
Yeah.
Look at this. Mike Carson says, I'll join with you, Rico. Look at that. Yeah. Peer pressuring Rico to come do a Blade show.
Like another round table or something.
Man, that would be epic. Mike and Rico doing Blade on the show.
We like to talk about it. There's a lot of
I wouldn't
material.
even be on the show. I just sit down and watch it with popcorn.
Somebody brought up Billy Graham, man, and I did this a few weeks, I don't know, about a little while ago. I didn't know Billy Graham was a writer, but he wrote and drew stories for Eerie magazine.
What magazine?
Eerie.
Huh. I did not know that.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Let's see. He drew books for a lot of different people. But I mean, eerie and creepy, I want to say. But this one here, he just did the art. Billy Graham. But
Marvel's first black artist.
yes. Yes. Shout out
In case y'all were wondering why we're mentioning Billy Graham, Marvel's first black artist.
Yeah. Yeah, he did a story and did the art in Eerie number 31. So I've been collecting his artwork outside of comics, but in other publications, I guess. Because you can't get none. If your name is not Otis, you can't get no original art. So, yeah. Shout out to Billy Graham, man.
Shout out to Otis. Missed that, brother.
Blade movie gets scrapped. Let's get a third season of Sticky Fingers Blade. Hey, look, I like Sticky Fingers Blade.
Honestly, look, you joke, but that show actually wasn't bad.
It was.
That Blade television show wasn't horrible.
Yeah, it ended, and the way it ended was what was so sad about it is that it ended it like it was going to be another season, but they chose to renew it or whatever.
Show wasn't horrible. The white girl sidekick person, she was a bit annoying at times. But yeah, the show was decent.
Yeah, I enjoyed it for sure. Well, guys, we are like 2.5 hours in. Man, we like the Black Panther movie.
Listen to that, Dion's. Deadpool will show up in Secret Wars and tell Blade that he looks different.
You know what? That might actually happen. Austin asked a question. Put Austin's question up here. I want to answer that. Question, family. Do you all believe Static
why
was
would you
the
do this, Austin? Why
Miles
would you do this?
Morales? You mean
why are you
Static
triggering
Jr.?
Richard?
Miles Morales, aka Static Jr.
Here we go.
the original? Of course. I do. In fact, I know.
Had to put it out there. Why are you triggering Richard this question?
I'm not. Listen. I am a person who loves Static. I'm not the biggest Static fan, though. That title belongs to Mike Carson. But I'm right there with Mike. Not in all them slabs he got, but
speaking of his slabs, let me show you what he's talking. Go ahead, keep going. I'll show you the slabs.
So
Mike Carson's collection.
The situation with Static is, when Dwayne McDuffie and Milestone Comics were creating the Milestone universe, they wanted to do a Black Spider-Man. They wanted to come up with an archetype for a Black Spider-Man. And Static was that character. And so Marvel was like, I guess through Bendis, well, we're going to do a Black Spider-Man. But yeah, absolutely. Static was the original Miles Morales. Or should I say, Miles Morales is Static's son. So that's why I call him Static Jr. I don't call him Miles Morales. I call him Static Jr. So shout out to all my Miles Morales fans out there.
What you see on the screen is a full collection of Static comics, the original Static comics from Milestone, in all 9.8s.
There's some 9.6s
Every
on that
single.
too.
Mike, can you confirm that you have all 9.8s, or did you sprinkle in some 9.6s?
I'm looking at a 9.6 right there.
There's probably an extra copy.
Probably. But yeah, most of them, if not all of them, are 9.8s.
Yeah.
196.
Mike says he's got 1.9. Which issue is the one? Is the 1.9.6, Mike?
I'm looking at the one in the middle. I don't know what the number is, but yeah. In the alternate reality, Static movie dropped before Black Panther became a hit, causing Static to become the #1 black hero in pop culture. Yeah. I mean, listen, more people can relate to Static than Black Panther. I mean, that's.
Mike clarifies. There's two 9.6s in the collection because there are no 9.8s of those.
See, that's what I'm talking about. That's gangster there.
Huh.
You sure Flood ain't got them? The wrong Flood probably got them, bro.
I've resigned myself to understand that as extensive as my comic collection is, it will never be at the savant level of guys like Mike Carson, Rico Jones, and Deron Flood, and Stephen Bowers, and Philip Thompson. Those dudes, they're just on a whole nother level.
You know, I mean, I'm gonna
shout out to all you brothers, man. I got much respect for all of you.
Yeah, you know, my reprints will be fine. I'm good with my reprints. Now, I will say that Rico's got an incredible collection, but my favorite book that Rico has in his collection is The Black Boy Fly.
Yeah.
Hayden Brantley is an incredible artist. I want some of his art in my office.
I'd settle for a statue of one of those things.
I wish. I mean, you could buy those though. I wish I could.
You can find them. They're gonna cost you some bread.
Yeah, but I wish I could find some affordable Hebrew Brantley art. That guy is amazing.
Yeah,
the guy's amazing, man. Yeah, that guy's amazing. But Black Boy Fly, man, I wish I had that book. That's a beautiful book. That cover is amazing. I don't think it's all water. I don't think it's all watercolors, but I think it has some watercolors in it. But I just love his aesthetic, man. He's got some crazy stuff. So one of my favorites in my collection is The Adventures of Black Eldridge, the Panther comic. You know what, bruh? See, and we got that book on our website too. Good luck finding that, because that is probably almost close to non-existent. If I run across it, I'm gonna try to buy it. If I run across it.
I've never seen that book in real life.
Yeah, none of us have. Most of us haven't. The FBI got most of those books. So Rico Jones should be on the next show. Well, Rico's a busy man. Rico shows up when he wants to.
We probably got to book it with his secretary or his agent or whoever he's got on staff.
No, it's just a matter of reaching out to our brother. That's all. And figuring it out if he wants to. But either way, it says that one copy you have, Pick Up Black is in crazy condition. Yeah, it is. Give me Rico Jones or else. I'll say this. All we can do is ask Rico.
Is Herschel threatening his own group?
I don't know. That's funny.
Give me Rico Jones or else. What's the or else?
You know what? That's like from the Black Panther comic, the issue 11. Live in peace or else. Yeah, CIA and FBI burned them all. Yeah, they probably more likely did. Yeah, shout out. That was a great find, man. That was a great find. That and that Harlem Youth Report.
Yeah,
great. That's man.
yeah, most
There are
definitely.
books in our community that we talk about or we can look at or know about, and we'll never touch those books, which makes collecting
Like literally.
yeah crazy in the sense that if you collect on that level, um, the last thing you worried about is what's on the wall at the comic shop. If you're able to procure books like that,
You're not going to find
because
these
that's
books in comic shops.
yeah, of course not. I mean, that's literally probably marked as propaganda. It says right, the FBI under COINTELPRO actually investigated bookstores that sold the comic book and confiscated the books. Yeah,
That makes me want it even more.
yeah, bro. Our history is replete with all of these books and stories and thoughts, man. It's amazing. H&A said we need to get Ken Quattro to talk about his Invisible Men book and a few other historical topics.
We do.
All we can do is ask.
There's a lot of
Also,
people we got to interview, dude. There's a lot of people.
yeah. So it's been a joy listening to the family tonight. As always, great discussion. Happy Thanksgiving to the family. Happy Thanksgiving to you and yours, my brother.
Happy Family Day. Happy Family Day.
Family Day. Turkey Day, Jerky Day, whatever. Oxtail Day, Red Beans and Rice Day, Roasted Turkey Day, Fried Turkey Day.
Chitlin Day for those who eat that.
That's New Year's Eve.
Oh, is that what that is? I've never had it, so.
Oh my God! Listen, you ain't missing nothing.
Oh, I know.
You ain't missing nothing. Oh man, look, it's close to 3 hours, man. We're gonna go ahead and shut this down unless y'all want to talk about something else. Otherwise, we're gonna go ahead and get off here, man. Tomorrow, a lot of us are gonna be with family. Yours truly is gonna just chill. I'm gonna find me something to binge tomorrow and watch all day because ain't nothing gonna be open. I might go take the wife to go see Black Panther. I might do that.
There you go. Well, to make it a double feature and go see Black Adam too. Support that.
Yeah, I don't know if she gonna fall for that. First thing she gonna say, Black Adam, Black Panther. Why did you couldn't put the blacks together?
Because it'd be too black, too strong.
Too black, too strong. That's what's up. So, yo, we're gonna get out of here, y'all. From the Chief Dundada Paul, it's your boy Rich, man. Thanks for hanging out with us. Sunday night there will not be a show because it's a holiday weekend. That's why we want to do this show tonight. So hopefully
there'll also not be a drunken chat on Friday night with me and Mark either, because I'll probably just be drunk somewhere else.
Paul will be getting drunk in the privacy of his own home.
Yeah.
And Mark somewhere in the ATL. So either way, we want to thank you guys again for joining us. Please hit up our website, blackcomiclords.net. Check out the merch. Check out our books there. Listen,
it's Christmas time. Buy some merch. Go ahead and buy some. Where's that commercial that he had about the merch, man?
It's in there somewhere. Maybe he put it in the link before we leave, but it's hoodie season. Go get your hoodie. Get your Black Comic Lords hoodie.
It's Christmas time. This is what you guys need to go buy right now. Let's go.
Go to blackcomiclords.net. Get you some merch. That beautiful shirt that Paul has on, you could get that that sticker that Tamiko just showed you, you can get that. You can get that on a shirt. You can get that on a mask. You can get that on a backpack. You can get that on a mug. You can get that on you can get that on anything. We got it for you. We got some heat for you. Go to our website, blackcomiclords.net, and check us out.
Let's go.
Thank you all. Appreciate it. Support the site and have a happy holiday.
Yeah, man, do that. And